Showtime in 90 seconds. Showtime in 60 seconds. "45 seconds. "30 seconds. The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I'm just saying,
is it a compliment to hear your brother tell you that you got
Do
nice
you
jugs?
know how amazing your knockers are? You're
Tara.
almost as hot as Mom.
No, but I'm just saying, man. I mean, you had this gray. I can remember like it was nothing. You had this gray jumpsuit on, and you just looked phenomenal. And so, like, what? I'm not fretting over her in a sexual way. I'm fretting over my sister, and like I'm a very, very, very. I'm very.
That's half mine.
Wow.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge Show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
Welcome to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. The last broadcasting day of May. We're fixing to be in June. Are there any schools that are still left in session, or are all the schools?
Tobin's in school today.
Is today? Today's got to be his last day, though.
Yeah, it's his last day.
Yeah, yesterday was the last day for Pinellas.
So Sammy's last day was yesterday, and Coben, who's Hillsborough County.
No, Pasco.
Oh,
yeah,
he's
Pasco's today. Walker's last day is today, if you call it school.
Yeah, what do you call it? Pre-K?
Pre-K, yeah.
Or you just call it herding a bunch of wild cats?
Herding a bunch of cats.
Are they doing some sort of like musical performance, Lummy, for you guys, or does that not?
Yeah, no, thank you.
But no, I mean,
Here's
are they
the thing.
doing it, or are you
No,
skipping
they're
it?
not. I'm
But
skipping
here's the
it.
thing
I'm
about
not doing it.
And here's the thing about school, man. Back in the day, hate to be
Clint Rubs, $20.
Clint Rubb. You mean Clint Grubbs?
Clint Rubs.
Okay, thank you, Clint Grubbs. Probably Clint Rubbs.
Yeah.
Back in the day, man, when we went to school, or probably everybody that's listening to the show went to school. There was one graduation, and that's when you was done with 12th grade, your senior year, and if you had the grades and enough, credit hours or whatever, then they passed you, and you got to be a part of commencement graduation, and it was usually in the school gym, or sometimes I've seen them before, they have them out at the football field and on the bleachers and stuff like that. In today's world, you graduate, they throw you a big ass party if you graduate kindergarten. Then they throw you, I think there's a 6th grade graduation because you're fixing to go to middle school.
You mean like 5th grade? 5th grade?
Yeah, like 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then after middle school, before you embark upon high school, they got you a graduation. And then after high school comes the standard graduation that we all know and love.
Are you saying that we're a bunch of woke sluts because we're celebrating kids graduating elementary school.
Everybody's got to get a trophy nowadays.
Exactly. We are a bunch of. I like Seth's explanation better. We're a bunch of woke sluts that everybody has to. Your kid just has to get. Some type of participation trophy. Back when we were growing up, it's like, oh, you passed 5th grade? Congratulations. I'll see you in 6th next year.
Well, don't you
take the summer off, have fun, do what you got to do. I'll see you in August.
Isn't it impressive, though, to at least, go to school for 5 straight years? I mean, I feel like that deserves something.
No, it was impressive when you went to school for 12, 13 straight years.
Right. The first 5 is you got your dad's foot in your butt. You got to go.
Yeah.
So Coben on Tuesday
night.
By the
way, Coben is Gene Lasker's stepson. But anyway, go ahead.
He's my adopted son. He's not.
I'm sorry, adopted son.
So he tells Mom. He tells Sarah Tuesday.
Right.
At 8:00 at night. That I've got a graduation tomorrow.
Now, does
Mom,
he talk differently to? Sarah,
yeah, of course.
Than you, because I got.
Because I'm just kind of.
I'm thinking
he
runs most. He tries to run as much as he can through Sarah. It's probably his last resort. You know what I'm saying? Because Sarah would probably be like, "Oh, okay, honey."
Oh no, yeah, it's all about that. That's all about.
Baby,
my baby.
No, baby.
Oh,
Listen,
my baby.
Oh, so you got a graduation on Friday? Okay.
So, no. So he brings this up at 8:00 at night on Tuesday.
All right, what's he saying?
Mom, my graduation is tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning.
Hold on, and it's less than 12 hours.
It's 8:00 at night at Tuesday. I'm going to bed.
I'm less than 12 hours away.
Yes. So,
does it require a special outfit? Does it require a cap and gown?
No. It's just good clothes, Yeah. But they look over at me, and I'm headed towards the bedroom, and they go, "Listen,
you got to be there.
We got graduation tomorrow morning at 8:30." I go, "No. I got West Coast Fence coming. I got Harrison coming, and I got Chuck and Victor's 2 big gates coming, all at 8:00. So if I'm not on that forklift, it ain't going to get done quick enough.
Right.
No, I cannot go.
Which mean I might.
Why? What is graduation? Why do you don't even you go to work with me tomorrow? You don't need to go to no graduation. You got your diploma, you got your paperwork. Yeah, you don't need to even go to school. Let's go.
You got your paperwork. Everything's. Let me ever notice with Gene is everything's paperwork.
Everything is paperwork.
You got your paperwork.
So he kind of looked a little sad there, and I said,
"Well, no wonder."
Hold on. He went from having a full blown graduation to powder coating
to going to work.
Chuck and Leslie's fence.
We don't need no graduation. Not a 9th grade.
5th grade.
Not 8th grade. What are you talking about?
So hold on.
So I lay down in bed. So he's
graduating out of what grade?
8th.
All right. So
he's going to high school.
He's going to high school. Okay.
So my wife looked at us. She goes, I'm gonna take him in the morning. I'm gonna go there in the morning and be there. And I said,
okay.
And then she just stares at me with a sadness stare, like, what? I can't believe that you're answering me this way. So I look and I lay there for a minute. I'm going, I'm never going to see this again. He's going to grow up and then.
He'll remember that you've missed it.
He's going to regret you missing his 8th grade graduation.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to regret it because I'm saying, man, why not go to that?
Yeah.
So
Chuck and Leslie's fence.
I call him, hey, go, man. So he comes in, yes, sir. And he's kind of still bummed out. And I go,
now you in bed?
What? Yeah. I said, why?
Gene in bed, man, that's got to be intimidating.
Why do you?
With that hair, just every which way but loose.
I said, why do you wait till the last minute to tell us? He goes, well, truthfully. What? How? Why? Well, I didn't think you'd like it. Okay. And I go, of course I don't like it.
Hold on, Gene. The guy has a real good point.
Yeah.
Little feller's got a real good point.
He goes, because it's not the end of school, so why am I graduating? And he goes, I get it, but they're doing it, so I got to do it with them.
That kid is so smart, and he can communicate, and he's got he's quite unique, because he already deciphered that it's really not that big a deal. But they're having it, so he can't determine whether it's a big deal or not because the school has determined it's a big deal.
So that's why he kept it from me.
Hold on. So he knows that you're going to react exactly the way you reacted.
Yep.
So he waited to the very last 11th hour moment to tell the person that
Poor kid.
He
Poor,
knew,
you know, think about it.
'Cause he
It was
knew-
on his
hold on.
mind for days.
Yeah.
probably been on his mind for a week or so.
Yeah.
They probably kept reminding the kids, "Don't forget, guys, Wednesday, such and such,
8:30 in the morning.
We're going to have your graduation. Tell your parents. Make sure you tell your parents so they can drop you off and stay instead of dropping you off and and getting out of there. Your parents need to
But the
stick
thing
around.
about it is, you had to be registered to get in the door. So that we were not registered, so we had to go in a side door,
a jobber door,
and then get your license out, and they give you a sticker and put on your chest, and you walk around and you go through another door. And I mean, come on, guys.
I mean, it's easier to get into a Buccaneers game. It sounds like.
Seems like it.
Lasker sneaked in a 4-wheeler one time and was the main event during a monster truck show. That was easier than getting into Coben's graduation. So anyway, you thought to yourself. So he comes to the bed, and his answer is, "Well, to be honest with you, Dad, I knew that you would be something that you wouldn't like."
Yeah.
So, and by the way, he nailed it.
And I go, why wouldn't I like it? Now I'm trying to change it up a little bit. I said, why wouldn't I like it? What makes you? Why are you putting words in my mouth?
Don't act like
And he goes, because it's only 8th grade. I mean, I have to go to school. It's not like I got a choice. So why am I graduating? I'm just going to 9th grade. I graduate from 12th grade.
Can I tell you something? I've come to this revelation. I think Coben has a better head on his shoulders than you do.
Well, because of me.
I think they make a good pair. To be honest,
I give him all the good stuff out of me.
Yeah. They would make a good dynamic duo, would they not?
I mean, I love hearing about it.
Where the kid makes the major decisions and the dad's just there to follow along.
Yeah, I mean, I just think between Gene's knowledge and his money, and then with Coben, coming up in the world, I love hearing the stories about these two. Because you also know Coben is afraid of Gene.
Well, he's not afraid. He's just
it's a respect.
He doesn't want to let me down.
Yeah,
and I mean,
at
like
all.
he doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't.
He's not afraid of Gene. He just knows Gene. He knows.
He's
Gene
so thankful that he has a dad,
inside and out, and he knows what makes Gene tick.
Yeah,
and he knows
all that.
He knows every smart ass thing that's going to come out of his mouth. He knows. That's why he waited until the 11th hour, literally, to tell his mom. Now, and so it's really not a wonder that he just didn't take his mom aside and tell her privately, because Sarah's going to be there. That's her baby. And he knew that you were going to flip out, so he just made it But then he would have got in trouble from keeping it from you,
right? But of course he would have. Of course, but he tried. I said, why you wait till the last minute to tell me this? Why? Well, I tried a few times, but it really wasn't a good time to step in and start saying this.
And it's true.
And he goes, so I was waiting for that right time where just slide in, slide out, and you was golden. He goes, but I didn't find a spot.
Right.
He's got to write a note next time.
Yeah. So, did you tell him then while you're in bed, listen, I'll go?
I said, I'm going. I'll be there.
Did his eyes light up, Gene?
Yeah. So we go.
Yeah, but hold on, Coben. There's probably a part of Coben that would wish that Gene didn't go because it's less nerve wracking.
No, I think
he's not that really. He just doesn't want to let me down. He doesn't want to upset me. He don't want me to.
And he knows you're busy at work.
He knows I'm so busy.
Right.
And
so you probably called. What's that black guy's name?
JD.
So you probably called JD and said, JD,
I called JD and said, listen, man,
I need you on point tomorrow.
I can't even tell you what just happened. And he goes, uh-oh. And I said, Coben just told me he's graduating school tomorrow. Great. I'll tell Coben, girl, yeah, woo, And I said, it's 8:30 tomorrow morning. Oh, that's the problem. And I said, yeah, it sure is.
Now, can JD work the forklift like you?
Yeah, but when JD works the forklift, all the drivers are all buddies. Hey, Willie, what's going on, JD? Well, you better I'll start baloneying, and they're not moving equipment.
Clint, they're up $10.
Wow, thank you, Clint.
So by the time,
they're not getting stuff done nearly as quickly and as efficiently.
I said, Willie looks over and says, hey, last girl, what's happening? Shut up. Get this truck unloaded and get out of here.
Shut up. This is a customer.
Well, he's the driver. He's really not the customer.
Shut up. Let's get this truck unloaded.
And go home.
And you get the hell out of here.
Right.
I got 2 trucks coming beside you.
I got 2 trucks sitting there.
Yeah, waiting.
I've got them lined up.
All right, so
is that the most conflicted you get, Gene? Is
That's when everybody's delivering or picking up
drop off
at the
and
same
pick
time.
up, because it's not really a big area. Gene's only have
No.
when you pull into Buffalo Avenue, better known as Lasker Powder County. When you pull in, there's really only one way to pull in, and
you have to back
then
out.
you got to back it out, and there's not enough room for two loads.
No, they park long ways across the front of my property,
right?
there, and they're blocking the road a little bit.
Kind of like a holding pattern.
And then so I might have 30 pallets to load up on a trailer, and it takes a little bit to back and forth.
Now, do you try to stagger, drop offs and pickups?
I had to call all the customers and stagger them for the morning,
right?
Which they were fine with it, but it's still, nobody wants to pick up at 10 when they could have got it at 8 and been done with it.
But hold on, so how did the graduation proceedings go? Did they?
So the graduation proceedings went pretty good. Everything was cool until all of a sudden, Coben didn't have no booklet at the end when he didn't get the little folder, and I seen him sit down without a folder in his hand like everybody else got
a diploma.
Yeah, so. He walks around.
That means he might have missed a class or something.
No, they gave it to a different person. so I'm full hot.
Oh yeah.
So hold on,
you ain't
Coben.
messing with my son.
So hold on.
Where's his paperwork? Now.
Hold on. Gene went from not going to where's my kid's paperwork?
Oh no. When Coben sat right there, he goes. He opens up his phone. I said, "Let me see it." And he opens up the phone. There's nothing in it. And I go, where's it at? Well, they told me up there that you gave it to the wrong person. They'll get it to me later. What?
No.
I march right up there, cut through the people, get up there. There's two other dudes at the podium still sitting. I go, yo, this is my son, and he ain't got no paperwork. Let's get it now. What's the problem? Did he not make it? Did he fail? And I don't know something?
Did he not
no. Coben's a great kid. And well, then give me the paperwork now. Well, we're going to go ahead and mail it to you. No, you're not going to mail to me.
I guarantee you.
We're going to find it now.
I guarantee you told them, I'm not leaving this school.
I'm not leaving right now. I told them I
get the paperwork.
And ain't nobody picking it. They started picking up chairs. I said, hey, you, stop. And he goes, excuse me, don't move no chairs. You ain't cleaning nothing up here until you get me my son's diploma.
My son's paperwork.
Michael Hickrick, $10.
And so they got it for him. One guy walked over and said, hold on, let me go see what he went over to this lady and that lady, and then they walked into the office. I guess they took a blank one and filled it in,
Yeah, they probably just printed a new one out.
Right.
Put Coben Lasker on there.
And then he got
then he got his paperwork.
He got his paperwork, and we got out of there.
Now, a lot of times, there'll be a celebratory type, thing back at the house, or you'll take.
I think Gene went straight to work.
I went straight to work, but Mom took him out to eat.
Yeah, Mom probably drove separate because she knew you were going to peel off from there.
I'm going to book right over from Sun Lake Road.
And did it really? I mean, so what time did you get out of there?
9:30.
Okay, so that wasn't too bad.
No, it wasn't too bad.
And it probably made all the difference.
All the difference in the world for him, especially getting his paperwork and me walking up there and just.
I know when he scored his one touchdown when I called to play for him, he was most worried about because how where we used to play there, people would line up against the fence. They wouldn't sit in the bleachers. So everybody would just line up against the fence, kind of parallel with where your game's going. Well, if you weren't paying attention, it looked like, 9 different, and we're literally having 9 different games on the football field because
at the same time.
Because they play, in flag football, they play the field sideways instead of up and down. So there'd be probably 6-7 games on. So if you weren't really concentrated in on your kids per se,
you'd miss something.
So I call, a 3-yellow, which is Coben hikes a ball, goes out like 2-3 yards and makes a quick right, and the ball's going to be there. And he scored his first touchdown, and then he comes back and mouthpiece and starts talking to him. I go, take your mouthpiece out, Coben. I can't understand you. He's like, I didn't make sense. I go, what? Take out your mouthpiece. I just want to make sure. I hope Gene saw that. She says, I hope Gene saw that because I'm never going to probably do another one. And I go, I don't know. Why don't you listen? Why don't you? Because Coben didn't play defense. Coben was my offensive center. So I said, why don't you run over? Because I see your mom. And Merch Crick was with Sarah, if you remember right.
Yeah.
Merch Crick was with Sarah.
Side by side.
Right. And you were a little bit down. Probably
to the right
to
of them.
5 people, 8 people.
They talked too much together, so I walked away.
But you could have very well missed it.
Yeah, I could have very well missed it, but I didn't.
No, but you didn't. So I said, "Well, run down there while we're on defense." And ask your dad if he saw it. So he ran on down there. He came back. He goes, he saw it.
Yeah. So he goes.
And he said, he told me to tell you thank you because otherwise I would never have gotten a play called for me.
So I told him that was 1 down, 2 to go, and he goes, well, what's the second thing, Dad? I go, smash somebody.
Yeah. Well, it's
because they're not allowed to hit each other. I said, to make it look like an accident, but smash them.
So anyway, congratulations. So did Sammy have a graduation?
No, man. She's finished 2nd grade.
All right, 2nd. Okay,
No,
so she won't have one.
then?
So she won't have one till 5th, right?
Right.
Okay, and now did Walker have a big? I'm thinking.
No, not till pre-K, whatever. The next one up.
I think K. I think kindergarten.
Well, no. There's one right before that.
They do pre-K and a K?
I think a pre-K 4.
Each time you leave a school, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you're leaving a school.
Yeah, the next year, technically, Walker will have
he
one.
be in a school next? Because right now, I think pre-K, where he's at, is kind of a standalone building that's just made for pre-Ks.
Correct.
Right.
That's
but
what
when you go to maybe the next step, he's actually part of the K through 5 school.
Yeah, we're trying to make that decision.
Where you want to send him?
That, and also because you got to have a waiting. There's a waiting list.
You know what the good news is, Bubba? All our kids advance to the next grade.
Right.
That is true.
That's a real.
Now,
I mean,
listen. Well, you guys,
how many shows can say that?
And here's the thing: I don't even think in today's world they worry about it. But man, back in the day when I was growing up, it was. Did you pass?
They hold kids back still.
They I don't think they hold kids back near as much as they used to.
Well, I mean, one of our friends has a daughter that
Got held back.
had somewhat of a kind of a learning disability, and that they're gonna keep her in 2nd grade again next year.
Now, was it the parents' decision or kind of both? Parents, school.
I think it was a school.
They were going to leave Coben back because of his math. He couldn't learn math for some reason. So I paid for a tutor, man. I paid a lot of money.
You weren't helping them?
Gene didn't know math.
Dude, you can't do the math they do now.
Oh, no, you can't.
You can't do X plus Y.
No,
Z.
it's way different than that. I can do algebra, and I can do X's and B's and one on the top. I can do some of that.
You can?
The Common Core?
But some of that. Keyword, some of that.
Oh, you're going to... Lummy's, he's a smart ass.
Listen. I never got... There was never on the verge of getting held back, but math was not my strong suit either.
It wasn't his.
But when Tyler was going through school, it got to be about 6th, 7th grade where I couldn't stop. They do math.
The division's different. It's all different.
They put these numbers on one side of the hopper, then another side of the hopper.
I made his sisters, who just had graduated high school, come over to the house and help him. And they didn't know it. They said, I don't know this math. Yeah, you just graduated high school and you don't know this math?
Did you tell Coben that there's a chance that he'll never need to know this information in his life?
Math. All the math you can get is good because, I learned that, even like in the science room, all them little boxes that were up top and it said,
That's called the periodic table.
Yeah, the periodic table. No one ever thought, well, let me tell you something. In powder coating, you need to know a few of them.
Yeah, you need to know a few
You need to
of
know
them.
some math.
But he could always have that calculator. That's what I've been telling my daughter.
But yeah, you can. The calculator is going to.
Now let me ask you a question because, because this is just the way some dads and families do it, and it kind of almost times out correctly. And Coben, your son, works now. Listen. I'm assuming he's probably at the shop today.
No, today's his last day.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm assuming Monday he'll be at the shop.
Oh yeah, don't assume it.
So every day of his summer vacation weekday, he'll be working at the powder coating shop. I mean, and I'm assuming, Gene, that he does it all. Everything from sandblasting to hanging, parts to spraying parts to loading the oven to unloading the oven. Do you have the mindset, and I would, to maybe as Coben graduates high school, to kind of start handing the business over to him?
So Coben told me during dinner table, our dinner table is amnesty. If you did something wrong,
that's called amnesty. There's no B in it.
Oh. But anyway,
amnesty.
All the kids know, and they've knew it since I've been around.
Seth, I know you're mean to me, but I'm going to give you some amnesty.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, is amnesty about murders or just like things?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
I don't care what you've done. I'm not going to bop you in the head and mow you over for being stupid.
At dinner.
Okay.
So at dinner,
you got some stupid question to ask. You
better come clean at dinner.
Come clean at dinner.
Dinner, you got
amongst the family.
You got immunity.
You got immunity,
right?
Yeah, amnesty.
But the minute that we're not having dinner,
and I find out, it could be rough on you.
Okay.
You could get your phone broke. So
could get your phone broke.
So he says, "Listen, I'm going to quit school after 9th grade."
Oh, he makes this announcement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes, "I know what I'm going to do with my life." And I go, "Well, like, what's that?" "I want to quit school at 9th grade." I said,
because he knows hold on, because he knows he's on amnesty.
Yeah, he can't get hit for this.
Right.
So I look.
By the way, let me Glowbug Gloria Zach 25 with a PayPal, courtesy of Gene Lasker. She loves Gene Lasker. PayPal,
Thank you.
Venmo, Cash App, all at the Bubba Army.
Beach Meadow Detectives, $10.
So I look over at Sarah, and Sarah looks at me. She goes, "You did this."
Oh boy.
And I went, "So what's the asset to quitting after 9th grade?" Well, it's the last good year of school because I go to 10th grade. They're just going to blow, junk up my butt, and they're not going to tell me about the Alamo. They're not going to tell me about 911. They're not going to tell me about nothing cool.
The Alamo.
They're just going to lie.
Hold on, the Alamo. You forgot it. It's the Alamo. Alamo.
Yeah. No, it ain't no D on the Alamo.
That's what you said.
So I said, okay. And then he says, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to work with you. And he says, so 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, so then 3 years, I'm going to work with you, and I'm going to learn everything there is to learn. And then
he probably already
instead of me having a graduation at 12th grade, we're going to have a graduation of you getting out of the shop and going home. And I'm taking over.
Wow, I love
and
his swagger. I love his swagger.
And I plan on making $1 billion.
Oh, that's
hold on.
And I looked over at him and I said, so I'm an idiot? So I'm some kind of rough redneck that can't make any money? Well, you made millions of dollars, Dad. You got all this and you built all this, but I'm going to make a lot more. And I go, why? Because you're smarter than me? You can do overtime longer than me? What?
You better powder coater?
I'm going to franchise.
Oh.
I'm gonna travel the world, and I'm gonna put powder coats in every country.
Man, this is
He goes, I'm gonna get mailbox money because I'm gonna all the cleaning fluids, all the wire that we use, everything that we use is gonna come through me.
Oh, so he's gonna be like a distributor.
So when you buy the company, when you buy his franchise, everything you don't have to worry about ordering. He knows when to send it to you.
I mean, you got to kind of love his swagger. But now, what grade's he in right now?
He's going to the 9th, right?
Yeah,
the 9th.
You got to kind of like his. I mean, there's not a lot of kids that have a long-term plan.
I mean, if a guy says he's going to make you $1 billion and you don't have to work there anymore, Gene.
No, Gene. Mushroom Mitch. Let me $25. Coben's going to make big billions. Powder coating is what his message was. Now, Gene, have you ever thought that maybe Coben's looking at it a lot differently and perhaps better than you are?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's looking at it from his point of view.
Here's the deal. If you were 18, roll yourself back to when you're 18. You weren't powder coating. You were just mechanicking,
driving wreckers,
and working for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't. I don't think you really kind of started your own deal
until 25.
Until you were like 6-7 years thereafter. You figured out, well, hell, I can have just literally a little garage, and I can just mechanic and build up a customer base on doing brake jobs. And
when I worked for I was working for Tire Kingdom, and I was having a pretty good role with Tire Kingdom. They loved me and they paid me good money. But I was subbing out a lot of work to other companies that we didn't do. We didn't do transmissions. We didn't do rear ends. We didn't do valve head gaskets and nothing. So I was subbing that out to other businesses. I opened up my own business, put me a mechanic or two in there, and I subbed it out to myself.
Right. So when a guy came and he had a rear end problem, rather than to sub it out to a place that you guys have normally been using,
I said, we got to fix that rear end. I don't got the money. Yeah, well, it's it's in 90 days, same as cash, bro. So I'll get you this credit card right now.
You would basically be the manager of Tire Kingdom on things that they didn't do. You would sub it out to your own place,
and I would let my business, and I would let Tire Kingdom make 10 or 15% on it. So my my percentage on my service was so high, they loved me.
So think about this. You didn't really have it figured out until 25, and you didn't even really have it figured out to the tune of what you got it figured out now. Now you have your business figured out. You got it figured out to the point where this is your second powder coating shop because somebody bought your first one out from under you.
Yep.
And you just, and I still think that either the residuals he just got done paying you or he's still paying you.
No, we're done.
But yeah. But what I'm saying, yeah. So
we're done for a while.
I mean, the guy gave you money down. You
made a fortune.
You held the paper. You kind of self-financed it for him, and then I think sat out a year. Whatever your sat out deal was, and opened up your newer one with better equipment, better location. While that
ain't many times that a guy that is in the business for 25 years opens up a brand new one with all new technology.
So how old are you? How old were you when you first started your very first powder coating?
30.
30?
35.
All right. So think about how much more of an advantage Coben has if he's got it figured out at, well, how old is he right now?
14.
He's got it figured out at 14. I mean, he literally has it figured out. He has your business template figured out, and actually a better business template than you are, because you have no desire to franchise.
No.
You're making more than enough money to.
I want to pull a sign down so people don't come over.
Yeah, Gene pulls the sign down because he can't do that.
I can't do it all the work.
He can't do that bicycle frame you want powder coating. He can't do those set of valve covers. He can't do little stuff.
I got semis that drop stuff off.
He got semi full of stuff, and so franchising is the last thing that you have on your mind. And so at 14, the only thing that's not a deal breaker there is you're going to graduate high school. Right. I mean, you can't.
I'm not going to take him being a kid and having a good time. No, he's going to high school. Like I told him, I said, man.
But you know what you should tell him? You know what you should tell him to do? Hey, Coben, at night, you work.
Start working on it, and we'll franchise right as soon as.
No. At night, during the summertime, at night. Take online courses so that you can graduate in 2 years at 16, because you can do. I mean, Lummy, they can do that, right? I mean, I know a couple kids that did that. They took summer courses and graduated 2 years early. Graduated at 16. Well, I think Nick Diaco did. Graduated 2 years early. So Gene, he could take nighttime online courses for a couple hours a night, graduate at 16, have his high school diploma, and then start that process.
Well, like I told him, I said, it's going to take you a long time to get it all dialed in, especially on the computer, getting a computer disk, be able to handle a person saying this is how you're going to run your business because you're buying it from me. Well, start now.
I don't think you make them buy it. I think I think you do is I think you say, listen, I'm getting 30 points of everything. Like you're not no money down. I get 30 points of everything, and then that scale will graduate on down. Every year you pay me 1 point less. Or every 5 years you pay me 5 points less, or something like that.
See, he's got it where he's going to sell the franchise. You buy the franchise, and then it's yours. But you have to buy for 5 years or 10 years. All the stuff that it takes to make the business go from him.
Yeah.
Have you thought about maybe him taking over could give you more time to get your the frozen lunchbox that you had idea? Maybe we could bring that one up.
We were talking about that the other day about putting that back on.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, that's stupid. More time.
It ain't stupid.
More time for you and Sarah to actually travel a little bit and do some stuff besides being married to that shop, because that shop doesn't work unless you're there. And graduating it or slowly letting Coben take over just on the day-to-day operations, and where he gets a percentage of sales, not a majority of it, but a decent amount. And then he starts his franchising gig when you are completely, I don't want to go there anymore ever again. And which could literally be in 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Me and Sarah getting older. We want to spend more time together. We want to do more things. And at that point, you just tell Coben, hey, I'll be getting. You want to talk about mailbox money? The first mailbox
Don't forget
money,
my check, boy.
My mailbox money will be right here, and I'm getting 30 points of the business. So boom, I just handed you a what's your oven? 400,000?
No, 400,000 is probably the whole business. I mean, I could build a whole shop for 400,000.
Okay. All right, so maybe you and it's used, so maybe you put but it has unbelievable cash flow, so you got to figure that into the business worth.
Well,
correct?
It's a metal box. It's an oven. It's a metal box
but I mean,
with a heater. It really doesn't.
If you do 6 times cash flow, which a lot of businesses, there's a multiplier what they sell their business for. Like radio used to be 8 times cash flow. It's no longer that. Radios.
I think the powder coating was like 3 or 4 times cash flow.
Yeah. So you take.
That's how I sold the first one.
You take your best years. You multiply it times 4. That's what you say. You give Coben a family discount and let him make payments, and he can either own it outright or he can continue to make residual payments to you, 25, 30%, and you got a constant stream of income rather than that one-time shot. And
he said something like that. He says, how long do you think I got to pay you? And I said, well, what name are you going to use? He said, well, I'm going to use the Lasker name. I said, well, you got to pay for that the rest of your life.
Well, he's a Lasker, though.
Right, but I mean, if you're using anything with Lasker in it, you have to pay me for the rest of your life.
We'll change to Coben powder coating.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Kushner Coating and More.
Kushner Coating. Yeah.
Well, you know what the and more is?
You can do
happy finishes in the back.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Third merchant, $10. Captain Creamsicle, $25.
My oven's 10 foot wide, 10 foot tall, 35 foot long. I got 17, 18 foot racks. When you fill one rack up and you roll it in, it's powder coated, and you roll it in the oven, you got to walk yourself in there 15 foot deep inside the oven.
Oh, man.
Kushner's Coating can have somebody else deal with the oven.
Now, Kushner's Coating, we go 20 feet in the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really like to get it in there.
So I had these 2 Jew guys come into my shop, and they were younger guys, and they were driving a damn Bentley, and they were telling me that they're opening up a boat place over here, a yacht place, and I'm going to do all the powder coating because they found out that I do it really well, and they only want the really well powder coat on it because there's $1 million boats, and so I'm going to be doing it, and so I'm listening for a minute, and I'm working at the same time, and I'm listening, and I said, "What makes you think I'm even going to do it? You asking me, you're telling me." "Well, we're telling you what we want." "Well, you're telling me that I'm going to do it. How do you know you even want to do it? You just, well, you're in business to do it." And I go, "Yeah, I'm in business to do it, but I just do what I want. I mean, I don't take all the business that comes walking in the door." And he goes, "Well, you're going to take this." And I looked at him and I go, "Does that oven make you nervous?"
Oh, Gene.
"Oh, yeah."
Do they like that?
No, he didn't like that. It got kind of shitty. I said, "Well, I guess I'm not going to do that business, am I?" They walked out. Yeah, they wasn't too happy about me saying that.
How much was the business going to be?
A fucking vote top, like what, once every fucking 3 or 4 or 5 months? No. Vote tops up.
What would Coben do?
Oh, I don't know. Probably put up with it. I don't put up with nothing, Lummy. I know how to make money, and making money on one boat top once in a while is not money. In the beginning, I wouldn't lose anything. I'd take everything to if you wanted your kid's bicycle handlebars done.
Or valve covers.
Or valve covers. I don't do that shit no more. If you're my friend, or you're a long-term customer, or the old women, the grandmas, the grannies that come in.
You'll do it then.
Their chairs, I do theirs. Now, I did the chairs for this lady back 35 years ago. Okay? And she was old then. Now she's really, really old, okay? And she comes in my shop walking slow as hell, and I go, "You okay?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm I'm doing very good, Gene. I asked her, remember me? I go, no, ma'am. And she goes, you did my tables and chairs like 30 years ago. And I went, wow. And she goes, this is your paperwork. And hands me my and it says right on there, guaranteed for life.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, I do that for all women, mostly for grandmas, older women. I give them, look, it don't cost me nothing to fix it. If it rusts or if anything happens to it.
Did it flake off or something?
She's like 90. Bro. She was 60 or 70 when I did it for her.
I know, but did she have a little flake off and then she said, it said guaranteed for life, and so she
was asking if it was still guaranteed. And I said, yes, ma'am, it is. She goes, well, my furniture now is a little different. I go, what do you mean? And she goes, I got more browns. You think I can get it done brown?
Oh, shit, the Knicks won last night.
And I said, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Mitch.
Well, how much will that cost me to change the color? And I said, nothing. It's guaranteed for life.
The Knicks won last night.
Her and her husband come back there with.
Or do you want to give me that 20 that we bet on the game?
We did.
No proof. You have no proof.
Papa John's.
4 hours of the show today. I'll waive it. No big deal.
Oh, that was nice.
They're very nice.
Lummy, that Rays scored 13 yesterday.
Rays are on fire. I think they won now 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 9.
They're still 6.5, but on the wild card, they're only a game back on the wild card.
Guys, there's only 112 games left, okay? It's going to be all right.
Are my Pacers going to be okay?
They would just, what the gentleman told me, he goes, let me tell you something, sir.
That means the Knicks have to win 2 in a row.
I could just very much appreciate.
No, they're not going to be okay against OKC.
And I go,
No, what I'm saying is, do you think they'll be able to close out the Knicks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
Casting, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So man, it probably doesn't matter where you're listening to us. A lot of your children, their last day of school is today, so good luck on Monday. I wonder what some parents do that can't bring their kid to their powder coating shop, and they both work. What do you do? Well, does Phoebe work from home?
Yeah.
All right, so that handles that situation.
No, she's going to camp.
Oh, she goes.
they just sub them out.
She's going to the YMCA. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, but is that an all day deal?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's going to do dive in the morning and then take her to the YMCA for the rest of the day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me. What's up with Walk?
He's going to school.
So he goes to camp too.
Yep.
What camp is he going to? I'm a big kid and I'm going to bash you in the face. School.
That's right. He's going to learn more.
Now, Lummy, is Walker kind of is he the biggest kid in school?
Yeah. He's the biggest kid in his class.
All right. And does he have? Is he a gentle giant like his dad, or does he have some? Can he be a little prick?
Oh, he can be a prick. He calls it Hulk smash. He said he turns into the Hulk.
He thinks he turns into the Hulk?
Yes.
Right. And then he smashes people?
He starts getting all shaky
and all right.
And has he figured out that he's bigger than most boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he figures he's bigger than most people.
This came down yesterday. I didn't know that the lead guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers was facing vehicular manslaughter. And we were talking about this before the show. And I was like, man, how does that guy get just probation? Like, no jail time. Guy killed somebody. And then Lassiter was like, listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes if you're not drunk and you ain't got no drugs in your system, accidents happen. And, people die. But it was, this was just strictly an accident. So I can understand now where you can have a charge that's as serious as vehicular manslaughter, where somebody died. And if it was truly just an accident, which accidents happen, because you know for a fact that they did a blood draw, they did they they probably made sure he was, they tested him to make sure he was not under the influence of anything.
Wasn't on his phone.
Wasn't texting, wasn't distracted, genuinely. It was
ran a red light.
Well, he may not, or maybe the other guy ran a red light. Right? I mean, we don't know. Here's the story.
See gossip and shocking scandals from the world of entertainment. Today, we've got a story that's sure to leave you speechless. Red Hot Chili Peppers ex-guitarist Josh Klinghoffer has accepted a plea deal in connection with a fatal car accident that killed a pedestrian last year.
By the way, this is only in the left channel, so I don't know why.
They can't even get somebody to read this. AI's got to do it now.
I think so.
Yes, you heard that right, Josh Klinghoffer. The man who once rocked out alongside Anthony Kiedis and Flea is now facing charges for his role in the tragedy.
Now, why wouldn't he still be the lead guitarist?
I think Frusciante's back.
According to reports, Klinghoffer was driving his black 2022 GMC Yukon when he failed to yield to a pedestrian
crossing. Oh, there you go, Gene. It was his fault.
Yeah.
The street. The victim, Israel Sanchez, 47, was pronounced dead at the hospital later that day due to blunt force trauma.
Because the idiot walked in front of him.
So the guy's like making a right turn and
the dude didn't have no respect for the cars.
If it was an intersection, though, that had a stop and, walk, don't walk deal, and it was a don't walk deal. They have the red guy that says you can't walk, and the guy was to walk.
He probably wouldn't have got a manslaughter charge.
We can only imagine.
Oh, so it probably was a green guy that said walk,
or it was no guys at all, and the dude walked.
Right, it was just a regular intersection,
and he didn't yield for the pedestrian because the pedestrian's got the right of way.
Imagine how devastating.
Not in my life, though.
Must be for the family.
Well, you just gas.
I run him over.
You do what this guy did.
Yeah.
Run him right over.
Yeah.
That's good.
Family and friends of the young man who
just
lost
gonna get
his
probation.
life. But here's the kicker, prosecutors.
Are you going to get probation having been jailed 16 times?
With Caslet, yeah.
You're right. You're right. Probably, do you attribute a lot of the fact that you have not done a lot of jail time in your life because you are represented by Kevin?
Oh, yeah.
People that maybe have done the same things you did probably spent more time in jail than you did.
Oh.
You never spent more than what was
10 days.
10 days. What's
that was kind of fun.
What do you mean?
Well, I played basketball all day, slept when you wanted to, and watched TV if you wanted to. The meals wasn't that good, but bologna sandwiches is my favorite anyway.
So it really wasn't that bad, was it?
No. All the Kool-Aid you wanted to drink.
Now let me ask you a question: was this when? This is when I think you first owned your first powder coating shop, and you had Nilla, and Nilla could run the shop without you, right?
Yeah.
So did you get word back to the shop that you were in jail for a while, and for them to just take care of it?
Yeah.
Filed the criminal charge.
I actually do remember this, Lummy. I went down. This is when we had our sprint car team, and I went down to the powder coating shop because sometimes I would just go down there and hang out. Remember, Gene? I just hang out.
Yeah.
And I go down there one day. I think that's when I had a dually too. And I pull in, and Gene's dually's not there.
Oh.
And so Nilla was actually in the area. He was actually painting, powder coating some parts. And like when they don't like to be interrupted when they're powder coating parts.
So you don't forget a spot.
So I kind of waited for him to get done. He had like maybe 10 pieces of, I don't know what I think it was actually motorcycle frames. I think you were doing motorcycle frames. Remember when
you and Harley Davidson?
No. Remember that one franchise, Bad Boy Choppers or something?
Yeah.
You did all. You had their
all of them.
You had their contract, and I think literally Nilla had like 8 or 9 Bad Boy chopper frames that he was doing, like candy apple red or something like that. So, and anytime you do that candy apple red with a flake in it, you cannot.
It was big dogs.
Listen, Lasker had taught me enough powder coating etiquette that when he was powder coating, don't interrupt him. Just go in the shop where there's AC, kick your legs up. I'll be in there in a minute. So Nilla sees me walk in. I go, hey, no. So he's like, and he gave me the I'll be done in a minute. He's got the respirator on, the whole 9 yards. He finishes the motorcycle chopper frames, throws them in the oven. And then after you get in powder coat, you don't understand, like your body now almost is the entire color of what you were spraying. So he walks in candy apple red, and I go, where's Numbnuts? And he goes, in jail. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, he's in jail, and I think he's going to be there a while. And I go, is there anything I can do? And he's like, no, we've already gotten a hold of Kevin. He should be out in about 5 or 6 days. So that was like day 5 of Gene already being in. And Gene got out like 5 days later, but I didn't know that you enjoyed it. I didn't know that you thought it was cool.
I got to sleep, bro. I had some good sleeping.
And it's cold too, isn't it?
Yeah,
they keep it cold. Now, did anybody try you?
No, I didn't have nothing like that happen to me.
Charge against Klinghoffer last.
Like the Whites didn't come up to you and say, "Hey, Whitey, you got to be part of the White crew."
I don't think that happens when you're just in a few days. You got to go to prison.
Yeah,
I was just I was on Orient Road.
You were over there by the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
August, alleging he was driving while distracted on his phone at the time of the accident.
Hold on. Now, see that? How did he get away with? How did he only get vehicular manslaughter if you're not paying attention?
Because it wasn't on purpose.
Well, phone at the time of the accident. And now, after accepting a plea deal, Klinghoffer is facing 1 year of informal probation, 60 days of community labor, and must complete a driver safety class.
I almost would parade around where, the people that I hate the most in life and hit them. and if listen, 1 year probation, I can do that in my sleep because I don't do anything to cause any problems.
But he took a plea deal, so evidently it was worse in the beginning.
Oh, it had to be.
Right.
But I mean, there's not a one of us from Macho Man to Kushner to even Eugene, now that you have Sarah in your life, you can.
I ain't got time to go to jail right now.
But hold on, you can be on paper. That's what they call being on probation, being on paper. You can be on paper for a year, and that'd be a walk in the park for you. You don't do anything because of Sarah.
Yeah.
That would cause you to violate your probation.
Yeah, I wouldn't get in trouble because of Sarah. So just to have
I can be on paper. I'd love to be able to run over the people that I hate and kill them, and only get 1 year paper with 40 hours of community service. Please.
How many people is that?
Probably just maybe 4.
Oh, okay.
A couple of those people you'd have to run over twice, though, Bubba.
Yeah, you're right.
Just on sheer girth alone.
We're also told that Sanchez's family filed a wrongful death and negligence lawsuit against.
Oh, here comes the civil.
Yeah.
See, a lot of times you get away with. Everybody needs to listen to this. Remember, with Jay, I would say you might get away with the crim, but here comes the civ. The civ will get you. And I got to think that the bystander that this guy hit and killed. While this guy was while the lead guitarist of the Red Hot Chili Peppers was on his phone, has one hell of a civil lawsuit.
Oh yeah, they already sued him.
Did they give you the results?
No, I'm trying to find that.
Claiming he was likely driving while distracted and made no braking or slowing motion until
Gene didn't even brake, just gassed it up
after the fatal impact. The family is seeking punitive damages in this case, but it looks like Klinghoffer's plea deal has spared him from going to jail. But what really caught our attention is Ashley Sanchez's victim impact statement delivered to the court yesterday. This young woman lost her father and is now left with deep and lasting trauma as a result of Klinghoffer's actions.
How mad would you be, Gene, if Sarah got mowed down by a guy that was being distracted on the phone and he didn't do a day in jail and
he wouldn't have made it to court.
You would have smoked him in the parking lot?
Period.
She spoke.
You would have ran over him, didn't you? Say,
no, 30-06, 3 blocks away.
No, that's what I'm saying, Gene. You run over him, and then you go to the judge and think, listen, Your Honor, I was just not,
Do you read the Bible, Judge? Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah?
Eye for an eye.
Spoke eloquently about her father's love for cooking, painting, and soothing those around him. It's clear that he was an extraordinary person who will be deeply missed.
Yeah. You read
Probably
the Bible?
Illegal immigrant.
Let me. They
rate illegal immigrant.
Because
where'd I get it from? Sanchez.
Lummy, the 25. They've rated the top 25 hamburger.
I want one of them burgers.
Oh, have you? Now let me ask you a question.
Oh man,
I got to think that you probably, because you don't travel much at all.
I've never had an In-N-Out burger.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're usually kind of just a west. I don't even know I think maybe as far west as they go might be like Colorado.
That's like Wisconsin cheese on it, ain't it?
Lummy, will you look
is it In-N-Out California or is that Jack in the Box?
No, it's California.
In-N-Out started in California.
Yeah.
They got 400 locations, but they don't go.
Oh, you mean as far east as they go?
Yeah, I think as far east as they go might be Denver.
Looks like they had some in Texas.
Okay, so that's it. Texas is they don't go anywhere past Texas.
Yeah, DeSantis tried to get them to come here to Florida.
Oh my God, Gene, for real. I'm not kidding you. I've had them many a times when going to LA and mostly Vegas, but it is
looks great.
It's the best hamburger you'll ever eat, and it's just I can't even.
Is that a sauce or a cheese?
That's cheese.
Yeah.
Knowingly
Wisconsin
and
cheese.
understandingly, the hype around In-N-Out Burger makes it the first place ranking on Yelp. The chain has been around since 1948. And, Gene, they don't own a freezer. They do not. Everything is fresh.
Fresh.
So they have no freezers.
That's why the cheese looks like that.
And by the way, they have a bare bones menu. Burgers, fries, and shakes. That's all they make, Gene. Burgers, fries, and shakes. That's it.
Yep. No need for anything else.
So anyway, In-N-Out Burger, and I agree. Number 2, the Habit Burger. I don't know where the Habit.
They're all smash burgers too.
They're Habit Burgers here. They have one in Florida, and it looks like In-N-Out's going to Tennessee in 2026.
Shack, the Shake Shack. Don't we have one of those here?
Yeah, we do.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're all right.
I think there's just so many burger places now, Bubba, that it's hard to kind of just focus on one. I mean, back in the day, for all the old school St. Pete people, it was go to El Cap, go to El Cap.
Is El Cap still around?
Yeah, but nobody talks about it anymore. There's so many other places.
There's so many people that are as good, if not better, than El Cap. That El Cap doesn't stand out like it used to.
Well,
right?
just like people are building, everything is a car wash or a vape store these days, and it's same with burger places. They're popping up just as frequently.
Number 4, Culver's, and I would agree, man. Culver's. Gene, you probably eat Culver's. There's not one too far from your house.
Right. They got them
and they have
them
the
smoothies, man.
And not only that, but they have the best service, bar none. If you eat inside of a Culver's,
they're always bugging you.
They will check on you no less than 2 or 3 times to see if you need more ketchup, if you need a refill. They really take good care of you.
You like that? Do they bug you like that?
Yeah, because I need a refill and more ketchup.
Well, if you see my glass low, just walk by and pop a little bit of drink in it and walk on. Don't talk to me.
Island restaurants, which I think it's a West Coast thing as well. Freddy's frozen custard and steak burger. I don't know if there's a Freddy's.
I think there's a Freddy's in Orlando.
Okay. Five Guys. I used to like Five Guys until it literally you got to take a loan out to go there.
Yeah, it's really expensive.
I mean, I literally got to go to Gene Lasker's and ask if I can borrow Gene, can I borrow $100 because I'm going to Five Guys?
Man, they are expensive.
They are. I mean, can you pull Five Guys menu out? And
I wonder why. I used to love them,
but now, like, if you and I went and we each got hamburgers,
we spent $30.
But here's the thing. Like, just get one thing of fries, because the one thing that they do is they load you up on the fries.
They throw some on the bottom of the bag, then put your burger in, then put the fries in, and throw some more on top, then put the napkins, throw some more on top of napkins.
You can order just one thing of fries, and literally 3 dudes can eat the fries. But their hamburgers are good. They're good. Probably the best hamburger, one of the best hamburgers around where we live. But God, are they expensive?
I think I quit going there as much because most of the time you got to order yourself now. They don't really got people on the counters anymore. They got the machine sitting there.
They got the kiosk.
And you got to move the thing and touch the screen and all that.
You're not about that?
I'm not about that.
Wayback Burgers, never heard of them. Must be a West Coast deal. Mulia Burgers and Shakes and Fries, founded in Texas. Haven't heard of them.
This list is not. I mean, this
Red Robin.
Red Robin.
This is the top 25 hamburger
They got
joints.
burger stamped in the bread.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty neat.
Ford does that
that's
too.
Who does?
Ford's Garage.
Ford's Garage.
Steak and Shake, Cheddar's, Carl's Jr.'s, Wendy's, Fat Burger, White Castle, Burger King, Sonic, McDonald's.
Wahlburger. That's really what I want. I mean, I'm going to travel just on a vacation to go get me a Wahlburger.
Let's go to Orlando.
It's in Orlando?
Yeah.
They got one in Orlando.
Yeah.
No way.
You just go to Publix and buy your own.
Oh, they make them frozen now too?
Yeah, they're thawed out, but yeah. They make them frozen and fresh.
You guys remember Fuddruckers?
I could buy Wahlburgers
Yes.
at Publix.
I remember Fuddruckers. They had a good hamburger.
Yes, they did.
That place was great. You could put your own condiments on it, load it up with the pickles.
That's right. I remember that.
There was a when I worked at XL 106.7 in Orlando in Altamont Springs, right off of I-4. The studios were right across the street from the Hilton, and you had to make a right there, and right in that little plaza was a Fuddruckers, and we would from the guys from the station would go down there. The Fuddruckers. You're right, Seth. They had that's. I think that whole franchise went under.
Oh, yeah, I think it did, too. Yeah, there was the one in Altamont, and then my dad, he would take us.
Because we took too much stuff from them.
they would call out your name over the speaker.
I'd make me a salad out of that, where the bar was for you to put your stuff on your burger.
Yeah.
I'd make a salad.
You could. They didn't really even have anybody over there monitoring it.
So, Seth, you were familiar with the Altamont Springs, and where was the other one?
There was one that was I know there was one in Orlando that was around like the Universal Disney area.
Oh, okay.
That I think stayed open longer than. But my dad would go and he would always put the name under like Penny Hardaway or Shaq because we lived in Orlando. So they would call out like Shaquille O'Neal, your order's ready.
And people would be looking around.
That's funny.
Here's a small Jewish man going to pick up.
Well,
the
my
burger.
dad would send the kids up there to go get it, of course. Yeah. But it was always Fuddruckers was always a fun time.
Mike Thurman, $50.
Thank you, Mike Thurman. When I return. Trump's big, beautiful bill, which supposedly is the reason why Elon has now stepped back, and now I think there's heat.
Well, no, Elon, it's 180 days.
What do you mean? No, but I heard that Elon has been critical of the big, beautiful bill, and it's one of the reasons why him and Trump are no longer communicating. I guess there's heat there.
No.
He said
it's tough to know, but it seems like this is kind of all happening around the same time, like when he was going to be done. And yeah, he spoke out about the big beautiful bill, but I can't imagine it would bother Trump that much.
Right. This woman's going to break down 4 key tax provisions that are explained in this new Trump's big beautiful bill. So we'll do. I don't know that.
Is he going to save us some money?
I don't know. This chick supposedly is going to break it down for us. We'll do that next.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Play this.
Start with permanent tax cuts. The bill makes the individuals and corporate tax cuts from 2017 permanent, including a 20% deduction for pass-through businesses and a reduced corporate tax rate. Yes, that's right. This bill does have a reduced corporate tax rate, so it benefits large businesses. Now let's move on to
54, they're building a Bojangles, yeah.
tax credit is increased
Not seeing
to $2,500.
It's just half a block before Sun Lake Road, where that's where my kid goes to school.
Mixed up state and local tax reform.
So my good friend
The deduction cap is now raised to $30,000 for taxpayers below the $500,000 mark. It will benefit residents of high-tax states. Healthcare provision. The bill adds work requirements to Medicaid increases the need for coverage.
I asked over to you on
It's
it, and then I want to talk about
gender-affirming care and
Because he hasn't driven yet. So we'll get there and drive up there.
We'll see, we'll have mics. No, I got mics now. So, I'm going
The bill
to.
proposes $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, including reductions to Medicaid and other social programs. Supporters of this bill argue that the bill will stimulate economic growth by providing tax relief to individuals and to businesses. They also claim that it will create...
Man, they knocked this off the fucking front page, right? 1 hour.
Well, this Wednesday and Friday is that guy that gets back. We should be back on.
The stupid fucking dude.
1 million new jobs.
Trent Loose.
150 million in economic growth. Of course, that remains to be seen, and it is simply an estimate.
Some guy with a fucking cowboy hat on.
Yeah, he's the Wednesday and Friday, 7 o'clock.
Contend that the bill disproportionately benefits the wealthy and corporations. The permanent tax cuts for high-income earners and the increase in the SOL deduction cap are seen as favoring the rich. Additionally, the proposed, here are the key points that continues to debate it.
Is that Charlie?
No. I don't put Charlie on hold.
You don't?
No.
Okay.
I just had it ready.
85 times.
He just hangs up and recalls on a different line.
Thank you to Mitch and the Glow Bug for the Gene Lasker donation.
Thanks, Raph. Captain.
That's her name, the Glow Bug?
Yeah.
The Glow Bug.
She's a wedding planner.
30K, but already that was 180. Yeah, it definitely is.
King missing from Riverview. Kind of looks like Coben.
Mike Hendrick, told you 10 out. 6:14, 6:15, about an hour ago. Morning, Matthew Hawk. No, they're not going to be on sale, Mike Thurman. Iggy McGillicuddy, $20. How about it, Oscar?
How about it? Thank you.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Thank you, Iggy. Appreciate you.
Igamo. What's the Hurricane Expo?
What?
Sell old junk from a hurricane?
What?
Hurricane? They're gonna have a Hurricane Expo.
There, Gene. You can get free stuff.
Yeah, you mean you're talking
sandbags?
No.
Like bottles of cases of water and batteries and flashlights and just stupid stuff that most responsible people have already.
Well, I'm not going to have it if I can go get it for free.
Well, yeah.
No. But I'll tell you what they're doing. It's from 10 to 2 tomorrow. You can sign up to stay alerted about events of, if there's going to be a storm coming. Stock up your supplies. Learn how to customize an emergency kit that meets the unique needs to sustain you and your family for 3 to 5 days, and free sandbags. So you get free sandbags. You don't get free supplies, but you do get information on how to stay informed.
Well, you get some free stuff. I've been to one before. It's whoever's giving them out for free.
You know, Lummy, I got the info right in front of me from the city of Tampa.
I'm going there.
Are you challenging? It says you can get 10 free sandbags.
I believe in you, Lummy. I believe you got a AAA battery for free.
He's talking about the city of Tampa one. I'm talking about the other one.
You got another expo?
Yeah.
I wouldn't stand in line and wait and fill out all that paperwork. And
you don't have to fill out anything. You just stand in line to get the 10 free sandbags.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What are you going to do with the sandbags?
What are you going to do with 10 sandbags?
Wait for the big one to come.
If you need 10 sandbags.
Where are you going to get the sand at?
Hold on. If you need 10 sandbags, you likely need 100. And so, what's 10 going to do
Sandbags save lives, Bubba. I mean, I know that you don't have to deal with a lot of... been in flood zone A for a long time, and sometimes that water gets right to your door. Yeah. And that's when those sandbags come in handy. The worst thing is what do you do with the sandbags after they've taken on all that water?
I take them out on the street and I make me a bump.
What do you mean?
Traffic bump. Slow everybody down.
A speed bump?
Yeah.
So the big beautiful
I put
bill
mine in the garbage can. It didn't work out.
Lummy, has the big beautiful bill been passed?
Yeah, last week.
Passed.
Yes.
And these are, I guess, what we're supposed to know about this big beautiful bill. That's what Trump has called it, involving some tax cuts and then some budget cuts and what it means to the average person.
He's getting lame.
However, here are the key points that you might want to be aware of as of today. Let's start with permanent tax cuts. The bill makes the individuals and corporate tax cuts from 2017 permanent, including a 20% deduction for pass-through businesses and a reduced corporate tax rate.
All right, that sounds like that might help us.
That might help us.
That might help us.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
I mean, I like. Maybe we should be scoring
20% is beautiful.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Yes, that's right. This bill does have a reduced corporate tax rate, so it benefits.
I mean, Gene, that's got to help our corporations, right?
Yes.
All right.
Large businesses. Mm-hmm. Now let's move on to child.
Oh, and you're gonna and Coben's worth more now on the tax cut. Look.
Tax credit. The child tax credit is increased to $2,500 through 20.
What is it now? $1,500?
I'm not for sure.
Per kid?
28, which will provide more relief for families. Next up, state and local taxes, or SALT deduction. The SALT deduction cap is now raised to $30,000 for taxpayers below that $500,000 mark. It will benefit residents in high tax states.
I don't know what any of that means. I have no idea what that means. Me neither.
Healthcare provisions.
All right, hold on.
The bill adds work requirements to Medicaid, increases fees for coverage, and
now, does that mean like somebody that's on Medicaid might need to go to work? Like they're just not going to give it to you?
Increases fees, meaning they're going to pay more of the bill.
It adds work requirements to Medicaid. The bill adds work requirements to Medicaid, increases fees for coverage, and prohibits Medicaid from funding. Now, see, I'm all about this.
There you go. I like it.
Prohibits Medicaid from funding gender-affirming care and or abortions.
Well, you got Medicaid, you got a hurt hand. I mean, you still type, you go into work, and still answer the phone. So that's what they're probably talking about.
I don't know.
And also prohibits Medicaid from funding gender-affirming.
I'm all about, the U.S. government not paying for gender-affirming care and or abortions. That's a private thing you need to pay for.
If you just killed the first 10 of them, they'd quit. Everybody quit it.
Abortion services. Now let's talk about spending cuts that are included in the bill as
here comes the spending cuts. Maybe some of this is going to affect us.
It stands today. The bill proposes $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, including reductions to Medicaid and other social programs.
I'm all for that. I'm not on any social programs. And isn't
me neither.
And what isn't Medicaid is different than Medicare. Because I think Medicare is what, like my mom, when you're old, you get on. It's like a form of health insurance for people that are on Social Security. But I think Medicaid is for poor people that potentially take advantage of it. I think. I could be wrong. Chat will set me straight. I could be wrong in my assumption, but I think
it is health coverage. I just don't know the extent of it.
Right.
Supporters of this bill argue that the bill will stimulate economic growth by providing tax relief to individuals and to businesses. They also claim that it will create jobs, it will increase wages, and boost investment. For example, the 20% small business deduction
This is what we were talking about earlier, Gene.
Yep.
is expected to create 1 million new jobs and generate 150 million in economic growth. Of course, that remains to be seen, and it is simply an estimate and an expectation. However, there are critics of the bill as well. Critics contend that the bill disproportionately benefits the wealthy and corporations. The permanent tax cuts for high-income earners and the increase in the SOL deduction cap are seen as favoring the rich. Additionally, the proposed spending cuts to social programs could negatively...
I'd like to see the social programs that they're cutting, right? Rather than just to lump it all in as social programming, I'd like to see, is it the WIC free food program to, lazy ass moms who don't want to work? And
but some moms need it, man.
No, some moms do. Some moms do. But, some moms also just pop out kids and play the system, right?
Yeah.
Impact low-income individuals and families. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that the bill will add $3.8 trillion to the national debt over the next decade, just 10 years, and will have nearly $4 trillion more added to the surging national debt.
I don't think that the national debt is anything that we should be arguing about because nobody has a handle on getting it down to zero. We're like, what, 35, 38 trillion right now?
We ain't helped it none with Elon.
Elon didn't help at all. That's why I think Elon and Trump are kind of at odds right now because Elon feels that this particular bill kind of circumvents some of his work that he did.
Hopefully he talks about it today in his press conference with Elon.
Now hold on. Trump's having a press conference with Elon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Raises many concerns about the long-term fiscal sustainability of the tax cuts and the potential for increased borrowing costs. While proponents are...
I've heard enough. I don't even know if this reporter is from our country with her accent.
Yeah.
I've heard enough.
Get out of here.
So supposedly, massive plume of Saharan dust headed for Florida. Now, is that is this just a normal
new style cocaine?
Saharan dust. Hey, Seth,
what is it?
I got some new cocaine. I got that pink stuff that
Stephon Diggs had.
The Diggs hacks, or I got the Saharan dust.
Well, do a rail of dust on the back of the toilet bowl. Let's go.
And I'm meteorologist Valerie Mills. Thanks for logging on to My Fox Hurricane. Things are quiet in the tropics, but what the big story...
Now, when does hurricane season start?
June 21st?
So a month from now.
I thought it's not June 1st.
Is it June 1st?
I thought it
is a really massive plume of Saharan dust, and that's continuing to get close to the state of Florida. So
where's it at?
It's coming over the water. Come on.
Where is the dust right now?
It's right there it looks like by San Juan.
Oh, it's
Saturday.
It's the shaded part.
Where?
You see behind
this?
San Juan?
Oh, you don't see it, Bubba? You don't see the dust?
Oh,
the gray stuff?
Yeah.
This?
Yes.
This?
And down below.
And down here?
Yes.
All that?
That's not... oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
So they're dust clouds.
The ghost-looking stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
Sunday, and even...
Neil Mount Plaisir, thank you, buddy. Hall of Famer.
Into the start of next week, we're going to see more of this Saharan dust drifting across the Sunshine State. So that is going to reduce our air quality a bit over the next couple of days. But as we zoom out at the big picture, this is really keeping things quiet.
Look at all that dust.
It probably ain't real.
What do you think it is?
Clouds.
As we look across the Atlantic Basin.
We're going to get dust in our eyes when it goes by?
These are clouds This is the dust, all this white ghostly like stuff.
Look at all of the dust that's still coming off of the coast of Africa. This dry Saharan air layer is about 50% drier. So we just do not have the things that we need for.
Maybe it'll be like oil dry and it'll help dry up some of these storms, right, Gene? You know. What happens when I
think it makes them worse sometimes.
Does it make it worse?
I thought we had Saharan dust that made a storm worse last year.
How can that happen?
I don't know.
Any sort of waves to be able to develop under these circumstances.
Don't bust me up with your big dust storm there, buddy.
Really, over the next week or so, we expect this Saharan.
To me, this seems like
going to the right of the country.
Weather porn. Like, you know how they always just overhyped hurricanes and things like that, and occasionally they'll get it right. But do we really need to worry about some stupid...
Do we got to wear goggles when this happens?
Yeah.
Do you?
Big time.
And dust to dominate.
It's never happened.
On top of
ever.
that, the subtropical ridge spinning in the Atlantic.
I've never wore goggles during the daytime over a sand dusty storm.
Right.
That's really going to continue
Come
to
on.
keep things quiet, it looks like, in the next week or so. You can see that dust continuing to drift
blowing by
So
us.
more of that is likely going to impact
It's going to hit Texas.
Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and the state of Florida over the next coming days.
Barely.
But as for any waves trying to develop, we may see a couple, but overall, it doesn't look like anything is going to be able to spin up into anything tropical in nature. Even as we look at our...
Again, so this bitch takes me a minute 24 into the story, and then she says...
She says it ain't gonna
The
happen.
bottom line is she gets you all whipped up on the actual title.
But it's going to go right.
The title is, massive plume of Saharan dust headed for Florida.
Well, she didn't say prepare to evacuate. They're just letting you know what's ahead.
I know, but then she finally, like on the last half of her interview,
It says it's not gonna really hit
it
us.
looks like it's really not going to affect Florida much. Get the hell out of here with your
She's from
nonsense.
Pasco County.
Well, how do you know that?
I can just tell.
You think Shorty had an underrated rack, Bubba?
What's that?
You think the Shorty had an underrated rack?
Oh, I don't know.
For sure.
I agree with Seth. It was underrated.
Yep.
A little white.
I was going to make some observation
More
about
belly
her.
than boob.
Yeah, she had a little bit of a gut on her.
Yeah.
This one does
And
too.
then you could.
It's a little pouch.
That's the first
Bubba.
thing I noticed.
It's cute.
That's not a cute pouch.
Oh, from that last
When you're
leather
on
girl?
TV, you're not supposed to have pouches.
Dude, the girl's like 20-something. I mean,
And then you could kind of
Loosen up on the dress some, bro.
maybe she just had an extra dessert and wine last night.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe wear a jacket.
Man,
Yeah.
you guys would be a brutal on America's Next Top Model.
we would.
Hey, we know how to pick them.
Now, Trump supposedly, he's the firiness dude, isn't he? He just fires you. Is he now? I thought ICE and the deportations were going quite well. I thought.
Well, not for the people that apparently are legal,
Meaning like people that shouldn't be deported, Trump sending you back.
There seems to be a couple of people that get picked up here and there that might not necessarily.
Or is Trump blaming his upper management because the headlines read Trump changes ICE leadership over deportation frustrations? Is the fact that these federal judges
Picking up the wrong people.
are striking down his deportations on the federal level, meaning a lot of his deportations have been reversed by federal judges, and he's now blaming that on ICE management when really ICE management can't predict what that federal judge is going to do? Is that a potential situation?
Or they're getting
Trump
big
administration-
heads and they're grabbing the wrong people.
Is changing leadership at Immigration and
Like I
Customs
do.
Enforcement, or ICE, due to frustrations over the lack of arrests and deportations. That's according to sources familiar with the
I thought we were really rounding them up. Or is that really, realistically, if you think about it, they don't really report it much anymore. It seems like they're not getting...
What do you mean the 100 they got in Tallahassee yesterday?
They got 100 in Tallahassee?
They sure did.
Sweet.
CBS News Justice Department reporter Jake Rosen joins me now. Hey,
Look at this guy. Remember when you were going to be on TV, you wear your best clothes? This guy's wearing like a shirt with his T-shirt showing.
He's not a president. I mean,
He's got a jacket on.
He's on CBS.
You're giving him the Zelensky treatment. I
Jake,
mean, he's
what are the
just
top
a guy.
concerns from officials, and what does this mean for potential changes?
Well, White House official Stephen Miller said it out loud earlier this week, in which he said he expects the administration and ICE to up its numbers of arrests and deportations to upwards of 3,000 arrests a day. That's certainly a number that President Trump has focused on. He said,
and if you're going to be this dude, shave that little sketty.
He's gay. He doesn't have to shave.
You're wearing a Whites for Warren shirt, Bubba. What? I mean, we're all on TV
but
here.
I don't got any sketty showing.
I'm not wearing one either.
I don't got any sketty showing up there. Look at that. He's
What's
so
sketty? His chest hairs?
It's spaghetti.
It's a wiry hair.
Yeah, that little bit that pokes out above you. At least shave that.
Shave the bottom of your neck,
so you don't got any sketty.
The Bears and the Wolves love that kind of look.
That is true. The Bears.
He wanted to see more numerous times in the beginning of his administration. And by reassigning these two individuals, Kenneth Ganalo, who's going to be retiring, he's the head of the ICE enforcement and removal operations that conducts things like deportations. And the head of ICE's investigation arm, HSI, was also reassigned. An ICE spokesperson said that these changes are a realignment to support its increasing operational tempo. Certainly something to keep an eye on, as the Trump administration really has looked for ways to, like we've covered for the last couple of months, Lindsay, up the ways it can deport people and find ways to arrest people and get them removed as fast as possible before there are things like court challenges to potentially stop that. You've seen it under the Alien Enemies Act with Venezuelans, and potentially that act could be invoked against other groups of people to get them arrested and removed quicker.
And Borders are Tom Homan just telling our Major Garrett on the takeout that while people who are in the country illegally, who are criminals or have a violent crime on their record are priority, anybody who's here illegally is not safe. Jake, you've been all over this.
Is Trump not happy with the volume, or like they're not doing enough? Is that what he's saying?
Tom Homan's not happy. I sent you the Tallahassee raid too.
Oh, is Homan's getting too much pushback? Is that what you're saying in the certain cities, Lummy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I see that.
Okay, and so that's these. It's not Homan's fault. It's these dudes' fault.
Yes. Here comes
because of what they're allowing the pushback. They're not going in there boss hogging.
Correct. But Tom Homan's having his way in
Tom Homan wants to boss hog.
Yeah.
So this looks like to be a job site.
Oh, they got 100 off a job site in Tally.
So job sites are full of. I'm assuming job sites are full of illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Officer,
please. And here you are. You're just nailing some boards. Let me doing some construction. Next thing
I
you
don't
know,
man, why are they doing that when they could just go in there and then find out who they are,
and
get on the paperwork, round them up. And start making them pay.
They don't got to
make them give a school.
They don't
got
to be this aggressive.
Not to the working man's.
Hold on, I have other videos where they're all lined up. These are the guys running.
The gang members and all.
Give me your hand.
These guys are working, and then they're gonna manhandle them like that.
Did they only get one?
No, they got 100. Those are the guys running.
Oh, okay.
Be lucky I wasn't on that backhoe. I'd have hit him with the crane.
What is it?
That's them on the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem more chill here.
They thumbs up. Hey, finally got me.
They finally got me.
He got his phone. They're good. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now let me. You sent another video.
I guess illegal is illegal, right?
It's not sending through.
Oh, it's not coming through.
You ain't gonna get what are the companies gonna do that's got all of these Mexicans?
I don't know,
because they ain't gonna white people are gonna work.
No white people are gonna work.
Oh, I read there was it was a story I saw that somebody had 50 or 60 workers with them, and then after ICE came by the next day, they only had 5.
The story today, big story we've been following: an appeals court temporarily reinstating the Trump administration tariffs that were blocked Wednesday night. What is the reasoning behind this appeals court decision, and what happens next?
Well, that's right. President Trump, when he invoked specific tariffs, so think about the 25% tariffs he put on China, Mexico, and Canada for what he says was allowing drugs and immigrants to flow into the United States. He said that those were necessary under emergency provisions. In addition, he claimed...
Where did CBS get this guy from?
On Liberation
DEI?
Day, April 2nd.
You're right. DEI, say it.
Glory
of
hole.
this year that he wanted to put a 10% sweeping tariff on every country the U.S. had a trade deficit with. Also,
Jesus Christ,
because of emergency provisions. A 3-court panel in New York City last night said that there's no such appropriate circumstance. This emergency application that President Trump and his team tried to put in place does not fit the criteria that's necessary to really invoke that without Congress. And as a result, they struck that down. However, an appeals court here in D.C., a federal court of appeals said that
he has just enough lisp to be irritating.
Right.
Either be full.
I'm trying to adjust the bass on it or something. You know?
The tariffs can be temporarily stayed, which means that it's as if nothing happened for at least a week until later next week. The Department of Justice and the plaintiffs in this case, which include a number of Democratic states, have the ability to re-argue the case potentially and refile briefs in front of this appeals court. The Trump administration said if they did not get this ruling today, they were going to jump straight to the Supreme Court. It's likely that either way.
I've seen enough. I've heard enough. I've seen enough.
I don't even know what he said.
Yeah, and I know Lummy, they found again, they captured 100 illegals yesterday in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And were somewhat kind of abrasive about it.
Well, those are the ones that ran.
Hello.
Hey, Bubba, what's up?
Good. Who's this?
It's Mike in Greenville, South Carolina.
Hey, bud.
I've called you a couple of times. Now, I just wanted to say real quick on this immigration thing. You know, we have a chicken processing plant in our town, and a lot of illegals work there.
Lock the doors during the day.
What they did when they came and raided them was the ones that were here legally took off running, and the ones that were here illegally just stayed. And when they chased all the ones that were running, the illegals just got in their car and left.
Smart dudes. That's the way to do it.
No, hold on. But if the ones that were here legally, why would they run? Because
that's what we do when we're biking, man. We got a couple of guys that got warrants, and they're in the middle of the pack. Cop comes rolling up and goes, put the lights on. I take off.
Distraction.
Right.
And they chase me. And when they pull me over and they find out I ain't had a ticket in 15 years and I got no warrant, and they let me go. And they don't. And then the other guy,
the guy in the middle,
he gets away.
So, but the guy, the people that are there legally, what? Oh, so they're running to try to distract.
Yeah. So they all chase them.
So
think they got bad guys, but they don't. They're not bad.
So all the agents go after the runners. They find out that the runners are properly documented and they have the right to be here. And then,
so did you teach your people that?
Then hold on. Then the illegals get in the legal guys' cars and drive away. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yes,
that's brilliant.
I didn't mean to give anybody any ideas, but I thought it was.
No, we want to give them some ideas because I don't mind illegals that are here working hard.
Yeah, I don't mind illegals as long as they've not committed a crime.
Right.
They technically did. I mean, if you.
But can I tell you something real quick that I wasn't going to say? But one of my best friends for like 20 years is Spanish and works in a restaurant with me. And, it came to my knowledge. I told him, I said, you know why a lot of people don't like you guys, man? I said, honestly. I said, because we were born here and we have everything. And a lot of us have made nothing of it. And then you guys don't even know the language. You work hard and you make something of yourself. I said, it's not that people don't like you. They just don't like themselves, man. I mean, a lot of us are lazy. Lazy.
Speak for yourself.
No, hold on. But this guy makes an interesting point, and I somewhat agree. Not everybody's a go-getter like Eugene and have gone out and been able to establish their own business and do it on their own. A lot of guys, a lot of people that we know, regular white or black dudes, that never really, they're in their 40s, maybe early 50s. And
they're still clocking in.
And they're still clocking in. They're still working for the man. They're still making, they've not done. We somewhat resent an illegal that comes here, busts his ass, saves his money, lives modestly, and is able to make something of himself. And we haven't made much of ourselves. I think it's a self-reflection, and it makes us feel bad about ourselves, and it automatically makes us not like them, even though they've not done anything wrong. I think that's a brilliant assessment, my friend. I really do.
I appreciate it, yeah, Bubba. And the thing was, I went with him the other day to buy a car. He buys really nice cars, and he said something about don't be jealous or something like that, just joking. And I said, look, man. You work 7 days a week, and I never see you when you're not working. I said, I am not jealous. I'm proud of you, man.
Well, that's you're a good friend and a good man, my man. I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate that, Bubba. I've been listening a long time, guy. I love you guys. And as far as that Charlie guy or whoever that was cutting on Seth and everybody, you got the best crew you've ever had. The most honest crew you've ever had.
I agree.
The realest dudes.
All right.
I got the realest crew ever. Appreciate you, bud. And by the way, I don't know if Charlie knows this, but this was a Seth Kushner idea.
Oh, hell, man.
This was a Seth Kushner idea.
Oh, God.
And Seth said, I hate Charlie. He's a dick. He's disruptive to the show. He's a troll. He calls Anthony. He calls all radio shows and everybody hates him.
Yeah, let me just be clear. I hate him because I don't think for an everyday caller he brings anything
to the show.
Anything to the show. And
You're
again,
right.
I thought his character jumped the shark with the suicide stuff.
He brings aggravation to the show.
So Seth is right. He's completely right. But Seth did make a proposal today.
What did he say?
And well, you were here.
I didn't hear that part, though.
No, you just forgot it.
Well, say it again.
I'm going to, in case Charlie's listening, which I'm assuming he probably is, because people that like the show listen, 30 minutes, and people that hate the show listen 4 hours. So here's the deal. Seth proposed. He said, "Hey, maybe Charlie should call in today. We lift." For today, maybe today only.
It was just for today.
It was just for today. We lift the Charlie blackball, and we let Charlie talk to Gene, and nobody else can talk. It's Gene and Charlie, because Gene has his own beliefs on Charlie as well. And Charlie can call today, 813-90-BUBBA. But you're talking to Gene. It's a conversation between.
I don't think he don't like me neither, though, right? I mean, he didn't like anybody on the show.
I don't know, but you have a different way of dealing with people,
right?
And,
well, he's probably been stupid since he's been born.
Well, those are the things.
You know what I'm saying? He can't really help it. Probably wiped his own diaper off.
So
I don't know.
I don't know if that's Charlie or not.
It's not Charlie.
It's not.
No,
Charlie. We're throwing it out there. For today and today only, we're giving you a reprieve, like Lasker's dinner table. We're giving you amnesty for you to call in and speak with Gene and Gene only. Now, if you don't take it today and you don't talk to Gene, it's not good for any other day.
Oh, next Friday,
or sure. So, Charlie, take this opportunity to call in, and you can talk to Gene. Literally, Seth, I'm going to turn my microphone off, yours, Lummy, and Macho Man, and it's going to be between those two.
Yeah,
if he's got the balls to do it.
I mean, it'd be Charlie calling up. He'd be staring right at that "Beware of Dog" sign as he was about to open up the gate. So, I hope that because
Gene is kind of the King Corso of the show, is he not?
Definitely. Well, you know that. I mean, this guy likes. I can't believe we're talking about him this much, but he likes to, pretty much demean anybody that's on the show and say that they don't bring anything to the show.
He doesn't like himself,
right? Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's for sure. But it's hard for him to go after the guys that are running very successful.
I mean,
businesses.
could you imagine not being able to look in the mirror? Can you imagine that?
Gene, save all this for in case he calls. Okay. When we come back, Lemmy, we're going to talk about, I guess, Dan Bonagino, who is the man, the assistant.
Is that a real name?
And he's huge. He had a huge Rumble channel, and he had to give up his Rumble channel because Donald Trump picked him to be the assistant FBI director. He's former Secret Service. He's a really good dude.
All right.
He's a really good dude. He's the assistant to the FBI. But you know, man, that, well, the trolls are getting to him. I mean, here you are. You're the assistant director of the largest, most powerful police agency we have in our country, and you're letting the troll. Listen, we all are guilty of it. We're all guilty of letting the trolls get to us. But I thought maybe just maybe the assistant FBI director would be able to get past the troll, which just goes to show you. trolls don't care, man. If I was a troll, I would be afraid to mess with the assistant FBI guy.
Well, how do they mess with them if he's off of the podcast?
Well, I mean, go to Reddit, just different forums and different. They have all kinds.
He's got the time in the daytime to sit there and look at Facebook and get trolled.
I guess.
Huh.
We're gonna get into that next if Charlie doesn't call.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
What time's JoJo on?
9.
Joe Exotic.
Hey, is that shirt you got on there? Is that your
Warren Sapp shirt?
Warren Sapp shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, Raymond. Thank you.
What, the shot glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I opened the package before I was supposed to and got in trouble.
Just too excited.
It's cool stuff, man. I like the shot glass has a real cool design.
Well, Sapp was busting your ass there for a little bit, wasn't he?
Me or Bubba?
Bubba.
I think so.
And he hung up on him, too.
Well, I mean...
Sapp out. Boop.
Oh, man.
Typical Sapp on point.
We're
Typical.
Warren.
You think?
What's up, Madden Crusher? Thank you, Mike Thoroughman. I don't know when it came to me, but it did. What's up, Longer? What up, Felix? LM Close. What it do? Xerxes. Xerxes supplying Stefan Diggs with that pink cocaine. You too, LM. What up, Pappy Jasper and Cash? I am the woman that balances out the show. What's up, Dave? Thomas. Dave Thomas, Wendy's. One of the top 100.
We need to get those thumbs up, guys. I think we've, we need to get those thumbs up.
Interesting question, Mike. Interesting question. Haven't thought about it because I don't really live in that world too much. But not a lot you can get with Caitlin Clark for $500.
Really?
I mean, not like an autograph or anything. Maybe some sort of Caleb Williams patch autograph. I don't think those are quite $500. I think I could get 2 of those for under $5. Or maybe Chet Holmgren, something from him. I'd probably get a variety of cards. Now I'm really thinking about it. What's up, Biggie?
Where's Gene going? Last minute.
Yeah, maybe that Frank Thomas error card that they made, that one's like going for like $200-$300. Maybe that one autographed, probably, and authenticated would probably be around like $4 or $5. I think that'd be cool. I have 4 Frank Thomas autographed cards, but I don't think
thumbs up.
I don't think I could ever have too many.
On the YouTube, Willie, Thomas Gilson, Matthew, me, M. Eat more coleslaw.
Ooh. Okay, buddy.
Now let me tell you something. God does not jump out of your wallet to pay those bills. Those bills keep on coming, oh say the great Gene Lasker. Go ahead and open the wallet for us though, and donate via PayPal, Venmo or Cash App, all at the Bubba Army. Now back to the show.
Today about 9:05, I'll have Joe Exotic on live from his prison. Do we know where he's at in prison, Lummy? Is he like? I thought maybe he was
in the medical ward in Fort Worth.
In the medical ward.
Oh, yeah. He's got it easy.
Well, yes. Is he going through cancer still?
Yeah, I think he has thyroid cancer,
butt cancer.
Yeah, he's probably got butt cancer. I mean, he's probably got undiagnosed butt cancer. Dan Bonagino, the great Dan Bonagino. I got a lot of respect for the guy. He's a great talk show host. He had a great Rumble channel. I think he also had multiple platforms and YouTube and various other very successful right-leaning talk show host, former Secret Service.
He's draining the Swizomb with Cash Patel, right?
Well, he is, but some of the trolls are getting to him as well. He supposedly... A lot of people are mad about where's the Epstein stuff. I think Pam Bondi's caught some crap over it. I guess it's an FBI issue. I don't know.
Well, they want the FBI list. No, they both said that Epstein killed himself. There's a whole bunch of people that are convinced that didn't happen. There are people that are convinced that there was way more to the Donald Trump assassination than they're saying. And people were waiting for these guys to get in office to get the quote unquote answers. And I would feel like that's where a lot of the displeasure might be coming from.
I do too. And
but then the Diddy thing popped up. And
that's true, but that isn't that doesn't underscore that we still probably want some more extensive answers or intensive answers on the Butler, Pennsylvania attempted, assassination of Donald Trump. If there is any additional information, I think Bonagino, a few weeks ago, Seth, if I'm right, came out and said, listen, he's looked at the file every which way but loose. It was a dereliction of duty by the Secret Service, but there was no conspiracy per se directed by any individual or any group. It was just an isolated nut job that wanted to kill Donald Trump. There was a dereliction of duty with regards to the Secret Service. They dropped the ball, but that's the extent of it. He's read the file every which way you can, and he's sorry he can't give you the information that you want to hear, and that is, for the ultra MAGA, extreme right people that want to say, oh my God, this was Joe Biden. No, it was just a crazy nut job kid that, did what he did, and the Secret Service completely botched it. That's pretty much the report. The Secret Service botched it. Donald Trump's his Secret Service detail asked no less than 7 times prior for more security, especially in large gatherings, because he was doing gatherings of 20 to 40,000 people. Now Biden was going to, U.S. post offices and having meetings with 8 people. And Trump was doing, massive gatherings. There were I don't know how many different reports of his Secret Service detail asking for more bodies. They didn't give. The Secret Service denied more bodies. The one kind of whodunit as I have read some of the stuff, is that Jill Biden and Kamala Harris did in the 11th hour. They were going to give Trump a few more Secret Service people for the butler job, but Jill Biden and Kamala Harris planned a last-minute trip to like Philadelphia, requiring them to have Secret Service, which those additional people got pulled off of Trump's detail and had to go do that. That's the only potential whodunit thing. Now, with regards to the Epstein thing, this is Dan Bonagino talking about that. And you know what, Seth? I don't know if there's the big smoking gun that everybody's looking for on the Epstein thing.
I don't think people will stop looking for it.
Those two cases obviously are of significant public interest. I'm just telling you what we see in the file. I just want to be crystal clear on this. I am not asking anyone to believe me. I'm telling you what's there and what isn't. Right. There is nothing in the file at this point.
Talking about the Epstein file.
On the Epstein case. And there's going to be a disclosure on this coming shortly. We are working through there is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay. It was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release. That's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices.
Clintons, they're very sneaky. They work in very mischievous ways.
There's no tips.
So think about this. A guy that's in federal prison, that's on suicide watch, that is, arguably public enemy number one with regards to what he has done and the powerful people he has hung out with and taken to his island and possibly, trafficked, girls and just everything that comes with Epstein.
They ate babies' brains.
And what's that?
They ate baby brains.
They did?
Yeah, to make them younger.
I don't know if that was on Epstein Island, though.
Gene, where are you getting that from?
Was that on a nearby island?
It was that in California.
I don't know where it was, but it had to do with Epstein, didn't it?
Gene, I don't know where you're getting your news from.
Well, it could be breaking, Bubba. I mean, this could be something that
you might
we're
want
unearthing
to
here.
You might want to Google eating baby brains to make you younger.
I'm looking that up. It looks like there's no evidence that children's bones or anything was eaten on Epstein Little St. James Island.
Nothing.
But they talked about it.
So talking about it to make it, Gene, if talking about stuff was illegal,
if you're talking about it, it had to be something happened.
But so anyway, here's what I don't understand. Here's what I understand. You got Jeffrey Epstein, who is, public enemy number one with regards to all the potential powerful, very, very powerful people, including former presidents and actors and senators and congressmen that, were on his plane. The flight log showing that, Clinton might have been on it 28 different times. And this guy completely is so unmonitored that Bonagino goes through and gives you all. I mean, wouldn't you have a guard outside of his room 24 hours a day? I mean, it was an inside job. I think it was the guards were in on it, prodded by I don't know who.
How did he kill himself with what?
He hung himself, supposedly. But
somebody gave him the stuff to do it with.
Well, no, like a sheet.
Yeah, bed sheet,
and he tied it to the top bunk rail.
Well, you don't get a bed sheet when you're sitting there under suicide watch.
Well, they gave him one.
Yep, that's why.
Original, so you don't think there were any shenanigans.
So just listen to him go through all the checks and balances of neglect. Listen to this.
You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to
there's nobody there but him. Why wouldn't you have a guard outside of his cell 24/7?
People all the time. If you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
So I mean, like, how does that guy, Jeffrey Epstein, be that unguarded? That unguarded.
They got good doors. Don't need a guard.
Well, you need to keep him alive in order for him to testify.
Well, you can't give him ammunition to kill himself with.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Now then I think Bonagino went on to talk about how his life is in shambles because of this new job that he's taken on. Former Secret Service agent, now assigned by Trump as the assistant FBI director. Prior to this job, he was a very, 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 very successful talk show host that provided digital content. He was a content creator. I think I know he had a huge presence on Rumble.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was on YouTube or not, or they threw him off.
They banned him back in the day.
See, as soon as you start getting a little too right, YouTube gets rid of you. So that's that slippery slope we're always playing.
I mean, I gave up everything for this. I mean, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this, and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Cash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave till 7 at night. I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, we love each other, and it's hard to be apart.
But you're doing some great work. You're straightening out the FBI. You're moving buildings. There's a lot of change.
I got one more thing. I gave up.
I got one more thing. I wish I could have heard the one more thing. Now, is he and his wife going through a divorce, or is he just saying, I'm separated for these 10 to 12 hours that I'm spending at the FBI building from my wife? We love each other. We're just not together because I'm spending so much time. I spend so much time here working as the assistant director of the FBI that we're not together. And he's calling that a divorce, but it really isn't I'm getting divorced kind of deal.
It's because he's working too much.
Yeah.
In mid-flight, after investigators say a passenger tried to drag a flight attendant up the aisle of the plane. It happened last night on an American Eagle flight headed to O'Hare. The captain declaring an emergency and the plane landed safely, police taking that passenger into custody. We have just learned tonight that a flight from Hartford, Connecticut to Chicago had to turn around in mid-flight.
How mad would you be? You're just flying. It's no big deal. You got your friends going to pick you up at the airport. You're right on time. Flight's going well. All of a sudden, you got some numbnut that decides to grab a flight attendant and drag her up and down the aisle.
Maybe it was a guy.
I think it was you mean a
flight attendant.
Well.
And he was an idiot. He did something stupid, and he got yoked up.
Oh, the flight attendant did something stupid?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what, do you think they don't? They do it all the time on purpose.
When's the last time you flew, Gene?
I don't fly no more because of it. I get in trouble.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the flight attendants, man. They're not all cool.
Man, Sarah has to have a tranquilizer gun with her at all times with you. I think Sarah's got one of those syringe needles like Dexter had, and she shoots it right in the side of Gene's neck. If Gene now says...
Are you telling me every flight you've ever been on, it's been cool, and you didn't bite your tongue?
No, I have.
Okay, then. I don't bite my tongue. I just say it. I say what everybody on the plane really wants to say to that flight attendant.
So that's why you don't fly anymore?
I can't. They're going to get me for domestic violence.
After investigators say a passenger tried to drag a flight attendant up the aisle of the plane. It happened last night on an American Eagle flight headed to O'Hare. The captain declaring an emergency and the plane landed safely, police taking that passenger into custody.
I mean, you bring an interesting point up, but it leads to the fact it sounds like it was potentially a male passenger and a female flight attendant. Otherwise, I think most people would have. I mean, I don't know why I don't know. That's a free ass whipping right there. If you got some crazy dude, Lummy, and he's grabbed a hold of a flight attendant and he's dragging her down the hall, that's a free ass whipping.
Yep.
That is a free ass whipping, and you will be a hero when that plane diverts and gets.
There ain't that many heroes left.
Most people are soft and don't want to get involved.
Exactly.
But I want to get involved. I'm always looking when I'm on a plane.
What do you mean?
Bubba, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for
the emergency exit.
Somebody does something stupid and we can jack them up.
I'm looking for, first of all, I got my cell phone in a ready position, ready to record. You know, like if two people start arguing or something like that, I'm ready to record that. And then if it would need to be where I would need to step in because some crazy guy was trying to
beating up the girl,
was beating up the flight attendant, or was trying to get onto the, get into the flight deck area. That is I would hand my phone to the merch crick and say, and I would come up behind him,
put him in a sleeper,
jump in the back. I'm 300 pounds. Jump on his back and put him right in a sleeper hold. Choke him out. Just choke. I mean, if you choke a guy long enough, he'll pass out. He's not going to die, but he'll pass out. And
he could die.
Well, he could if you leave it in too long.
Right.
But as soon as he passes out and goes down like a sack of potatoes, then you let it up.
Let him breathe.
And then then they can. I do think that most airlines have zip ties. I think the flight attendants have a little compartment where they have zip tie handcuffs where they can handcuff you with zip ties. And
also duct tape too.
And duct tape. I'm so looking for that. Whereas I don't think Seth looks for that. I think Seth travels differently than I do. I don't think Seth is necessarily looking to jump on a guy's back, have Phoebe roll tape, and Seth choke out a guy.
No. It's mostly verbal spats with children that are kicking my seat.
Verbal spats with 6-year-olds that are just and nothing's worse than sitting there in your seats just going, he made me
think of my grandma.
What do you mean?
Saying spats.
Oh, is that what your grandma would say?
Yeah.
John Cougar Mellencamp was not happy. I thought, maybe you can find it for me again, but I think we all agree. I think we played it 2 days ago. Now, it didn't seem to help as the Knicks beat the Pacers last night. What is it, 3-2 now? Is it 3 games to 2 games?
Yes.
The Knicks 1-1. It was at Madison Square Garden. The game 6 comes back to Indianapolis, but on game 4, where the Pacers won the game, John Cougar Mellencamp with his either wife or girlfriend was there, and he had to issue a statement about Pat McAfee's at the 2 or 3 minutes into the fourth quarter when the Pacers were up like 111-98, up by like 12, 13 points.
Sir Merchant, $10.
Thank you. I'm waiting for you to send it to me. The Pacers PR department knew Pat McAfee was, I'm sure, Pat McAfee's front row, and they gave the microphone to Pat McAfee to kind of rile up the Pacer fans, and he did he did an unbelievable job. Is that it right there?
Yeah, there's Kurt. I was trying to find the censored one.
Yeah, he did an we don't really. Spike Lee's here. Ben Stiller's here. So, here we go.
Chalamet's the man.
Did he say with their brains blowed out?
With their ears buzzing.
Oh, okay.
He's a wrestler?
No. He's
he is a wrestler.
Oh, yeah, he is. You're right, he is. But he was originally a kicker, a punter from Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Colts, and then he went on.
Pretty big guy to be a punter.
Oh, he is. He was. Listen, he's one of. You can watch a Pat McAfee highlight tape, Gene, and he's one of probably 3 or 4 punters in the history of the NFL that would take a guy out. Like, you know, a lot of times a punter is the last guy.
Yeah, he don't usually get him.
Can you send me maybe a Pat McAfee highlight tape so I can show Gene? Gene, he was the kind of punter that would punt the ball, and after the guy that got the ball got through the entire team, and it was just him and the punter left. How many times have you seen the punter just whiffs it?
Yeah,
you know,
they don't touch him.
Or they truck, or, you know, the guy just
try to push him out of bounds or something, but if they're not that close to it, they
right,
don't
if they're
do
not
nothing.
close to the sidelines, usually they get trucked over.
Right.
Pat McAfee would
smash you.
So he started out like that, and he was a very successful kicker. But Seth, am I right?
Brock tries $10.
He actually retired way early because he had a problem with Irsay, I think.
I didn't hear that. I know that he
the coach or something.
He retired, and he announced at the Super Bowl that weekend that he was joining Barstool Sports.
Right.
So that was a big deal.
And so then he went, Gene, and kind of started like a talk show. And then he went and started doing kind of local stand-up, and just kind of doing that. And then he got a big break with Barstool and became huge on YouTube and got a big job with Sirius XM and as a sports guy. And now probably is recognized. Is he what's the Mount Rushmore, not of all time, Seth, but like of current sports guys? Does it go, let me see if I can name them. And is it Stephen A. Smith? Is it Pat McAfee? Is it Jim Rome? And maybe with Colin Cowherd or like what would be the top 4 sport? Pat McAfee is in that conversation, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, Pat McAfee is probably, the Stephen A. Smith has a lot of different things going on, but between Pat McAfee doing wrestling, doing college football Saturdays, between having a show every single day, Pat McAfee is the biggest to me by far.
Gene, this guy then went on to become, like what Seth has now said, the biggest franchise in sports reporting. He's diversified he does College Game Day for ESPN. He works for WWE as an announcer and sometimes wrestler. So he has really, really became quite popular. And is this his highlight tape right here?
Yeah.
Check this out, Gene. This will make you love the dude because most of the time, once the running back or the receiver or the return guy gets past all the defense,
he ain't worried about the punter.
He's never worried about the punter.
Never.
Ever. Well, this dude here, you're going to love him because what? This is so not punter-like.
Pat McAfee is going to be legend among kickers everywhere.
Well, he can kick, can he?
Oh, he can kick. He had a big leg on him.
Man.
And you'll like him, Gene, because he lied.
He lied about what?
I think he kicked for the University of West Virginia or Virginia.
West Virginia.
And he never was a punter. He was a place kicker. And I think during the combine he lied and said he was a punter or something. I just know that he did very little punting in college and was mostly a place kicker, but figured out that Indy had Adam who's that guy? I'm sorry, the guy from the
Patriots?
Yeah, the guy from the Patriots.
The place kicker Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah. The Colts had Adam Vinatieri and they were in no position to get a punter. And to get a place kicker, but they needed a punter. So when he tried out with the Colts, he said he punted too.
Good.
And
he punted. He punted his. He was a punter his senior year.
Oh, it was senior year. Man, look at
how his leg is vertical with his body.
But look how much. I mean, think about how hard you have to kick the ball in order for your plant leg
to come off the foot off the ground.
Foot off the ground. Look at that.
2 foot.
And he was a real jokester.
Like to see that. Little dancer.
Yeah, so hold on.
Boom.
Yeah. This gets into
that dude did not see that coming.
Now, see, he arguably is the hardest hitting punter of all time. Watch this.
He liked to party in college.
Oh, he partied too. Yeah, check us out.
Yeah, you can see he's got the attitude for it.
I mean, he knocked that guy on his ass.
Yes,
Watch
he did.
this. That's right. That might be an illegal hit by today's standard.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a helmet to helmet.
I'm going to buy one of them shirts.
Here's another one. Here's another one.
Oh, this guy thinks he's got it made. Oh.
Now, that was McAfee that took out
that blocker.
It took out the blocker. Yeah, most punters won't even deal with blockers. Watch McAfee. Bam.
Boom.
He decleated him.
Yeah, you're right. That's a decleater.
Looks like he housed it, but it's okay.
What are you calling that? Different ways that you have smashed somebody? Decleated them?
Yeah.
Boom.
That was an actual tackle.
That was picked him up and slammed him on his back. That wasn't a penalty.
With another one, 35 yards, and boy, did the Colts need that.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did. For Chuck Pagano, what a great call that one was. Coming over from the far side across the field, and I think that he's...
That's a hell of a throw, too.
Nice one.
He, as a sophomore, he won the punt, pass, and kick championship.
That was a hell of a throw.
He had the option to kick that ball, did McAfee, if he wanted to. They had the protection in place, but once
bam.
he saw Swope
Perfect pass.
break open, go ahead and make a play.
Oh, yeah, this is one
And he kicks it, and he gets his own ball.
Hold on. This is one of the most amazing plays I think we all will. This is so rare.
Shadow Panda, $20.
So he onside kicks it. He knows the ball has to go 5 yards from the tee.
Brock Trice.
And he recovers it. In fact, Seth, in all the football I've watched, I've never seen this where the kicker recovered his own onside. I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah, I haven't, not in a while at least.
In the league this year to successfully get an onside kick recovery. They had nobody there, Jim, to go up there and recover the football. Look at this. McAfee, ladies, the only man on the field.
He ain't even looking to see if he's going to get hit. He don't care.
This might be another hit here.
That's Antonio Brown.
Yeah, that's Antonio Brown.
He drug him down.
Recover the fumble there.
Oh, wow.
See, most punters, Gene, will just kind of hang out.
They stay out of the problems.
They stay out of the problems. You're right. They stay out of the problems.
Yeah, they don't.
Not at McAfee.
They're not paid to do that.
McAfee was up in the mix.
Yeah, he was like a middle linebacker there.
Just a good kick there. I think it's about over. We're marking out to Pat McAfee. Just another good kick. So anyway, that's Pat McAfee.
Biggest kicker I've ever seen.
And so that was the guy that hyped up the crowd. Well, John Cougar Mellencamp was there, and he wanted to make his little statement. I don't know
who approved this graphic, man.
Yeah, who approved this graphic that you can barely read, right? Hey, John Cougar Mellencamp, maybe your PR department is as getting as old as you are.
They made this on paint.
Maybe he did it himself.
The Pacer Nick games have been my. By the way, John Cougar Mellencamp, fellow Hoosier like me, and so we saw earlier Pat McAfee hyping up the crowd, which I did not find inappropriate at all.
As an Indiana guy?
No, at all. It was perfect. I love that. Having that type of swagger. Pat McAfee going up there and telling him we're going to bust your ass. So we're going to send you son of a bitches packing with your ears buzzing. I find no problem with that.
He was embarrassed of it.
So John Cougar Mellencamp, a fellow Hoosier and popular one, writes this statement, which just, to me, shows you how woke and soft John Cougar Mellencamp has gotten.
His songs suck, too.
No, his songs are pretty. I will tell you, he's got some good songs. The Knicks-Pacer games have been very entertaining for everybody.
Elevator music.
For everybody who likes basketball or sports, I attended Game 4 in Indianapolis. Hoosier hospitality. I was embarrassed when somebody, under whose direction, I don't know, called out some of the people who had made the trip from New York to support their team and in turn support our team. The audience booed these people. I'd say that that's not Hoosier hospitality. One could only say it's poor sportsmanship. I was not proud to be a Hoosier. I have lived here my entire life. On behalf of most Hoosiers, I would like to apologize for our poor behavior. I'm sure the Pacers had nothing to do with this smackdown, John Cougar. No, you know what? The Pacers probably, kind of had a general idea as to what Pat McAfee might say.
No, they asked him to do that.
Oh, there you go.
You always get smacked down at games.
Yeah.
That's why we go.
Yeah. Bunch of John Cougar, soft ass.
Is he from
he
a
was
soft place?
ass his whole life.
Is he from a soft place in Indiana?
He's from Seymour, Indiana, which is right outside Bloomington.
Sounds like a pussy place.
It is. I had a girlfriend from there. It was a real bunch of idiots.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Little girly song.
Indiana song.
Their state song? That song sucks.
Yeah. All of his music sucked. It was all,
Home or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Take Me Home, Indiana.
No, he didn't do that.
Where the fiery burning crosses are. Take me home, Indiana.
No,
Where
he
the
didn't do that.
one Walmart is. Take me to Indiana. We'll go to the Applebee's. Take me to... We got the summer of '69. What's up, chat? What's up, chat?
Roy Morgan said that Davey Sr., that's Davey Hamilton, the Indy driver, said John Cougar is a dick. Back in the day, he was married to a supermodel. Davey Sr. introduced her to Jay Penske, and they are now married.
Really?
The Penske took his girl.
Yeah, her name was Jane, I think Jane Seymour.
That's because he played girly music, and they loved him. There wasn't no rock and roller.
Got a little story about Jack and Diane.
Was that him? Did he sing that song?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it Elaine Irwin? Hurt So Good, Jack and Diane, Small Town, Rain on the Scarecrow.
Oh,
Elaine Irvin
And it has the William.
married Jay Penske. I just got their house. Maybe 12 years ago.
So, Davey Sr., Davey Hamilton Sr., friend of Kurt Morgan's real friend, good friend, he said he introduced her to Jay Penske. So he must know her somehow. Maybe he knew her from the Indy 500, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Not to be not appreciative or anything like that, Lummy, but Rumble has really sucked for us today.
Yes.
It's just really sucked.
Why? What can they do to us?
They algorithm just out of the business.
I don't even know what you just said.
Exactly.
Well, so we're not in the big box?
No, I mean we were only in the big box for like 59 minutes,
and then we fell back to like box 13.
Yeah, well, we're box 4 now, but it's been.
How many boxes is there?
Well, there's 4 boxes on the front row. Here, I can show you.
So you ain't never left the front row? What are you crying about?
Well, Gene, because when you're on this box,
people pay attention.
You get triple the amount of action than when you're in this box. Do you understand?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, after they get to know us, well, why would they worry about what box we're in? Just go do us.
It's a continuing process of them getting to know us. Don't forget Joe Exotic from Tiger King on the air. I'm assuming it's not a Zoom; it's just a phone call.
It is a phone call from.
Are you going to ask him about his paperwork he got?
I'm going to ask everything, Gene. Don't tell me how to conduct my interview.
The butthole
I'm not
picture.
telling you. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I'm asking
Why
about
are you such a dick today?
I'm not such a dick today. Why are you such a dick today?
You are to me.
No, you are to me.
Gene, are you a big Tiger fan?
I can't be a fan of a gay guy.
Jesus.
I just can't. I can't like anything. Your whole aspect of life is wrong.
Again, you answered your own question as to why I've been a little bit of a dick to you today, because you've said some very outlandish things that probably aren't real cool.
Most men are the same as me.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have to interview a gay guy here in a little bit, so
okay, and I don't mind that, but do I want to be a fan of his?
Well, he's pretty rugged. He
pretty rugged.
Tigers. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene. So if I was
he abused animals.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Gene,
you got thrown out of there for it. He must have did something.
Don't Alex Stein yourself during our interview and piss him off, okay?
Alex Stein's making his way to the top. I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah. To me, it's like you're being like Gene's.
I'm not being anything. I mean, no.
I feel.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I'm not trying to irritate.
I'm not trying to irritate you. I watched the show. It was stupid. Did he do good things, saving some of the Tigers? Great, man. But he still shot some of them, buried them. Maybe they needed it. They was in pain. I don't know. You can't believe anything, and especially from someone's gay. So.
What a little disclaimer at the end.
Just saying.
Can you
But
imagine?
I mean, the guy was cool, kind of, on the TV.
Can anybody take a step back and feel my pain on trying to manage this guy? This guy over here?
I feel no pain. I feel the good outweighs what could be, controversial.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Twitch might ban us, but who cares, right?
Right.
No, don't ban us because I'll be fired. Quit it.
No, well, Gene, you might get us banned in certain.
I don't work here, though. I'm just a guest.
They don't know that.
We say it all the time. This is a disclaimer. This is Gene Lasker, and I do not work here.
I know, but
I do not get paid, and I don't have to be here. But I just choose to be here, and I choose to say what the most Americans want to say.
You do say that, Gene. It's just a lot of times you dance well with me, and today you're not dancing well with me.
Because you've been mean all day, bro.
Oh,
kind of.
Let me help work, Seth.
Oh, boy.
Gene.
Come on.
Yeah.
Is that Mr. Johnny feeling sorry for himself? I have not,
I'm not
been
feeling sorry for myself. I don't. I let you abuse me all the time.
Let's go to chat.
He said you were going to beat me up earlier.
Oh, but
smash you like a gorilla.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
I don't know. Something obviously you said.
It was you could have said, "Hey, I don't like that." I said, "I'm sorry," but no, you had to threaten me with beating me.
Well, you threaten people every day. You threaten people every day.
I know, but we're just talking about the show right now. You say I'm being obnoxious and crazy.
I found Bubba. I've been very focused on Gene today. Eugene, as I like to call him off the air, and I feel like he's been extremely pleasant today. Probably one of his most joyous moods that he's been in so far.
I got a lot of sleep last night. I went to bed real early for this show.
What time did you go to bed?
7.
Yeah, but I mean, I softballed you with the Coben. We opened up the first segment with straight big Coben put over, and then.
But Gene told us he didn't want to go to the graduation. That was awesome, man.
I know, but that was all big Gene put over, and then we put him over with his powder coating business, and we put him over with when he was with Tire Kingdom, and we put him over with Coben taking over the business and franchising it out, and we put.
So I got to pay by shutting up.
No, but I mean, I'd like to say that I've been mean to you today.
Oh, so it's my turn to put you over.
So, well, that's what you should be doing.
Okay.
But you're not.
I'm putting you over now.
You don't ever.
Can't wait to hear him. I'm Gene Lasker, and I'm sorry for comments.
Gene said it's cool. He just can't be a fan of a gay person. That's all I said.
That's all he said.
He's not wishing ill will. He's just not rooting. He's neutral.
Trucker, 1981. Gene's got the balls that Bubba used to have.
Ouch.
Don't you understand? Can't you people fundamentally
We
understand?
can't have balls anymore.
Can't you fundamentally understand? And as much as you want to just make it about me not having balls or me being soft, don't you know that it's a whole different sandbox that we're playing in nowadays?
But what they really mean is we loved you so much as that guy.
But
you was top notch.
If I was to go back,
no,
to
you
that,
can't.
We would be done.
Right, we can't go back.
I think everybody here
just they don't enjoy that we were smart enough to listen to you.
So why
then.
use it against me?
I don't.
Like, why would a guy use that against me?
Because that
he wasn't
stuck.
really. He wasn't really. He was just saying.
No, he is. He's like he said that I don't have any more balls.
Oh no, yes you do.
No, but he did.
But those are people that are stuck in that whatever.
Yeah, they're stuck in the 80s.
They're stuck from where they were, and that was their glory days, and now they want you to contribute to their glory days, which you are trying to evolve as a broadcaster. It'd be tough, being a 59-year-old guy, doing some of the things that you were doing with, 18, 19-year-old strippers back in the day.
Well, I mean, not only that, but I mean, has anybody seen what today's environment is called human trafficking? And like the minute that I got 18-year-old strippers in here, all they got to say is I made them do something against their own will, and now we're in a whole nother situation.
Yep.
I mean, are you people that stupid that know that I cannot do that type of show? In fact, tell me somebody that is as ballless as I am nowadays, as you say that I've become.
But would you want to?
But I mean,
I didn't say that at all.
But for Trucker 1981,
oh.
Show me a show on Rumble, on Facebook
that
acts the way I used to have. Girls calling up and rubbing their vaginas on the phone. Lesbian Tuesdays.
Put me on a cross. Set me on fire.
It's just.
Would you do that stuff if you could, or do you feel like you've moved past it?
I've moved past it, and for a fan to try to use that against me.
It's stupid.
And then use Lasker as his pick, so to speak, by saying Gene got balls. But he said Gene's got the balls that Bubba used to have. That's wrong. Gene can't do any of that stuff either. Gene can have these redneck, uneducated outbursts that sometimes irritate me. And he says that he speaks for the average American, and perhaps he may, but the average American, Gene Lasker, could never have a 5-day-a-week talk show with his current mentality on how he sees life.
No.
Lasker
$20.
has to be a guest of mine with his potential occasional outbursts that I can bring back into center and make it not so problematic. But if I just let Lasker go unabated and continue to talk,
I'd be done myself in.
We would be done. We would be done. If I didn't bring back if I didn't walk back Gene's irresponsible outbursts, then we would be done. Because after the 4th or 5th or 6th one that I didn't walk back, or that I didn't correct Gene with, or that I didn't try to get back to center with, and that we let stick, and that's how we feel, and that's how we're going to roll, we wouldn't be around much longer. We wouldn't. There'd be some group, whether it's the gays or whether it's the blacks or whether it's whatever, Gene's.
That's why I never got a job here.
Right. That's why Gene's always been a sideshow.
Even back in the day.
Even back in the day when we were wide open.
Right. I was still bad.
I was
too bad.
He was still a once-a-weeker, at best.
A couple more times. A couple more than that, but sometimes.
So it just pisses me off when you people don't understand.
Well, he just don't get it.
The business, and it's very frustrating. It very much is. Joe Exotic today at about 9:05. Lummy.
9:05.
We're going to talk to him about some stuff. I wanted to walk back this. I wanted to talk about this because I just can't understand how a person can pure evil, transgender woman who fatally stabbed postal worker inside a New York City deli, sentenced to 15 years. How can you stab?
Did he die?
Yeah, he was a guy. Did
they die though?
Hold on. Yes, the guy died. Here he is.
Well, how did
Ray Hodges? Ray Hodges.
Dude looks like a good dude.
Ray Hodges, age 36, postal worker, father of 2.
Oh, man.
So let me read this. I just...
Was that
15
her
years.
right there, that lady there?
Yeah. A knife-wielding transgender woman who viciously stabbed a postal worker.
That means she's really a man?
Yeah, she's a man.
Okay.
I think.
Was a man.
She was a man. No, does she still got her...
She got it chopped off?
Does she got a vagina or a penis?
I'm looking for that.
A knife-wielding transgender woman who viciously stabbed a postal worker to death. Now, to stab somebody to death is a very violent act. Usually one stab doesn't get you. To death in a Harlem deli was sentenced this year, Thursday, to 15 years behind bars. Was it how would you say that name, Seth? Jaya?
Jaya. Yeah.
Jaya Cruz, 24, who ruthlessly killed a United States postal worker, Ray Hodges, after an argument in January, was given the sentence after striking a plea deal, infuriating relatives of Hodges and at the Manhattan court hearing. The family obviously wanted more time. This is pure evil. This is a disgusting excuse for a human being, and you allowed a second chance. The mother of Hodges' children, whose name wasn't immediately clear. When people like this are allowed plea bargains, you get broken families. You get us. I'm not happy with 15 years. To all these postal workers, be careful when you're out working your route. In April, Cruz pled guilty to first-degree manslaughter in the January 2nd slaying of Hodges, a 36-year-old father of two. Cruz knifed Hodges after he confronted her about cutting in line at the counter inside of the bodega, the cafeteria, later saying that he deserved it. So this transgender person, Jaya, cut the line in front of Ray Hodges, and Ray Hodges said something about it. Just like probably you would, Gene. Be like, hey, let me tell you something. That's not where you belong. You need to go back 3 people.
But if I have to do that and I see myself in that situation, I either talk myself out of it or I assault them. That way, you don't get knifed. You don't get a shot. You don't get killed. They get hurt. They bounce on the ground, and then you make sure they don't got a knife or a gun, or they go to pull it while they're laying on the ground, and they can't get you anyway.
After sentencing Thursday, there's some more wisdom from Gene Lasker for those scoring at home.
I've never met a mailman that was mean or a jerk.
You know what? Our mailman is the coolest person here.
All mailmans are cool. Mail ladies are cool.
And you know why? Because they got great benefits. And they actually make quite a bit of UPS drivers, too.
Yeah, they ain't got to pump their own gas.
No. UPS drivers are coddled. They treat them like rock stars. UPS drivers. Now, I'm not talking about the support personnel that load the trucks, that clean the trucks. But if you are a driver, you literally go in the morning, you pick up your truck. It's preloaded.
Yep.
It's preloaded. You drive your route, drop off your packages, take it back to the yard, and start your day over the next morning. By the time you get back, your truck's been washed, it's been fueled, and it's loaded again. And they make like $70 an hour.
Wow.
I know our Gino is our, not to be confused with the 7-Eleven guy, but our UPS worker here, Lummy's got 2 more years. He retires, I think, in 2027. And he makes $165,000 a year.
And his name's Gino?
Yep.
Man, how many Genes are around?
After the lawyer,
copying me?
After sentence, that's a Gino. You're not Gino.
Same thing.
You're actually
Some people call me Gino.
No, actually, your wife, when she gets real pissed off, she calls you Eugene.
Yeah, but when she adds a Thomas Francis and then hits it with the back shot of Lasker,
you're done.
I'm in trouble.
May we call you
Thomas?
Yeah,
hold
you
on.
can call me anything you want.
Okay. Hold on. What does Sarah hit you with?
Eugene Thomas Francis Lasker.
Eugene.
She hit you with that line?
Eugene Thomas Francis Lasker?
That's right.
Do you just like...
Shut up. Just stand there and...
Truly, is she the only one that can control you?
Yeah, you do.
Well, not really.
But somewhat. But yeah.
Me and her?
Yeah, that's about it. Truthfully.
Nobody else can control you.
Maybe my friend Mike Concannon, he's a good friend like you're a good friend to me. You know?
Right. How about Kurt Morgan? He could probably...
Kurt, what can he do? He's just my very, very good friend. You know, he can't control me.
He can talk. Well, first of all,
he can probably talk some sense.
What I'm saying
I would listen to Kurt.
Right. Kurt is a very, very self-made millionaire that you respect.
I respect him.
You know, Kurt could say...
Me and him were poor together where we borrowed money from each other just to eat lunch.
Where if Kurt now is, a multimillionaire, and you're close.
He's done so good.
And you would say, you would accept his wisdom.
I would accept his wisdom. So if he would I don't know that he's got the ability to help.
Hold on. He's as volatile as you are.
Because he's kind of like me.
I know. So it might not be the best. You might
he's
not
just
be
more business-like a lot earlier in life. You know?
mean, if the bottom line, if you're going to whip some ass, chances are he was going to whip the ass too.
Oh yeah.
So you guys are just like 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
The lawyer. So after here is. And this was all over a dispute of a person cutting in line.
Ain't that stupid?
Here's the judge giving this transgender person 15 years. You stab to death a postal worker who's only guilty of questioning you for cutting in line. The postal worker didn't put his hands on her or him, whatever this person identifies as, didn't put their hands on them, didn't just verbally, said that you can't cut the line. And this Jaya Cruz stabs him to death and only gets 15 years.
Well, and this person was arrested 4 times before this with knife-related crimes.
Want to say something?
She got her a Hazlet.
Shaking her head, that's a no.
Lawyers rule that room.
She wants to go to a women's prison.
She wants to go to women's prison?
Yeah.
Does she have a ween?
I can't find anything on that.
Well, of course she does if she wants to go there. If she didn't have one, she would have to go there.
As the mother...
Actually, Gene, that makes a lot of sense. And your Gene Lasker reasoning. Of course she's got a ween. That's why she wants to go to the women's prison. Otherwise, she'd have to go there. You're pretty much right on that one.
Of the victim's child says, yes, this is yet another senseless killing.
Killing. Let's not. This isn't a stabbing where the guy recovered. This isn't a stabbing where he got stitches. This guy died.
For a trivial misunderstanding.
She ain't rich.
All too often. However, you did take responsibility.
Is her lawyer transitioning too?
Ouch.
Maybe.
What? Is it Precious?
Yeah, Precious.
Precious.
Oh, I can see what you're saying, Bubba.
Yeah.
And yes.
And so is the judge, given 15 years.
It's very difficult to do in these type of cases. So I understand.
The prisoner has a Brittany Griner look about herself, does she not?
I bet a little better looking.
Yeah, this prisoner's a little hotter than Brittany Griner.
I mean, Brittany Griner doesn't wear a shirt because she considers her boobs pecs at this point. So
really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I'd
you
love
haven't
to
seen
see
her
that.
shirtless? You would like to see that?
There's a video out.
I want to see it.
I don't think we could probably play it.
No, you can.
Honor that promise. A substantial sentence.
I've heard enough. 15 years for killing somebody.
That's not right.
So at the top of the hour, we will have Joe Exotica.
So she was how old was she?
I don't know. I don't care.
About 30, right? So she'll be out at 45.
Charles Ramsey, Gene is the man, $50 on the PayPal. Thank you.
Man, we keep away from that.
President Trump's pardon of Todd and Julie Chrisley. They were serving a combined 19 years in prison for tax evasion and bank fraud.
Was there something hard about saying Todd and Julie Chrisley?
I don't know.
Did you see what he did? Like it was a pain.
3. President Trump pardoned them today. It was the only time we actually saw President Trump today. It was a video put online by one of his staffers of him calling Savannah Chrisley, their daughter, who has been fighting on their behalf now for a pardon and spoke at the RNC. You can see her there. Savannah's with us on the phone on her way to Florida to go see her dad as he gets out of jail. Savannah, I understand that the president called you and you were walking into Sam's Club?
Yes, the president called me as I was walking into Sam's Club, and I didn't know what to do. I just ran back to my car at that point.
All right. Help me understand, because there's a lot of people who are thinking about this tonight. What was your pitch to President Trump about why your parents deserved a pardon and what you think finally got through to him?
Yeah, I have fought for the past 2.5 years.
I've been given some inside information.
Yes.
That I need to hit Joe Exotica with, I guess, Hogan, Nick, and Nick's wife tried to befriend him, like chasing some clout, like clout chasing.
Hogan did?
Yeah. Just keep it to yourself. Yeah. I've been given some, I got an inside Iggy now. I got the hockey player, Steve. Mm-hmm. That's my inside Iggy. He gives me inside Iggies.
You're not supposed to say you're inside Iggy.
Well, he's so tough.
Then everybody's gonna go to him for the inside Iggy.
No, he only gives,
talking about Pat Mahomes.
He'll tell you, listen, if you want my inside Iggy, listen to Bubba Show, bitch. Yeah. I only give it to him. It's my boy, number 61.
My parents to come home, and I've
61 in your 61 in your and program number 1 in your heart, Lummy. 61 on your program number 1 in your heart.
been fighting for their freedom. I have said from the very beginning,
All
I
right,
believe.
enough of all this. I want to go to Joe Exotica. Doesn't this have?
I don't know about this one.
I think.
Well, Savannah, what I will say, I've known you for a long time.
How did that guy ever get a
to
job
have
speaking?
a daughter is dedicated to.
I don't know, man. He seems.
Yeah, it seems like
to
there's.
put things over because he watches every episode of her show. She is doing a.
Jailed reality star Joe Exotic rips Trump Chrisley pardons. Tiger King star Joe Exotic is voicing his frustrations with President Trump again for pardoning reality stars Todd and Julie of fraud and tax evasion. You're either rich and connected or you're poor and you're being trafficked by the system. Exotic, whose real name is Joseph, whatever the hell, I just call him Joe Exotica, and criticizing the clemency on in one of many posts which were uploaded to his Instagram account. We probably need to, with the hotness of this topic, we probably need to get all of our stuff up as quickly as we potentially can.
Of course.
I'm actually running behind, am I not? Because 5 is usually at 8:30.
Yeah,
I want to go. I want to go long with him.
Yeah, because we got to be there at
right at 9.
Well, when he calls, because
yeah. So anyway,
we can't call him back.
Let me just tell you, this is Joe Exotica's boyfriend got deported back to Mexico. He's not happy about that. There's an article about that right there. So we're going to ask him about that. And then, Lummy, here is the final thing that we're going to ask Joe about, is that his boyfriend gave him fingerprint-like pictures of his butthole for him to remember him by.
I can't believe this is true.
This is true. It's been verified by Seth Kushner.
So all the different sizes right there, is that the way he just pulled his butt apart?
Yeah, he just different, angles.
Ways.
Like I could take a picture of you straight on, to the side, to the right, from the, there's different ways to take pictures, and so that might be the different angle.
He had to ink his butt up.
Yeah, I know.
Bubba, if you don't mind, it was not. It was confirmed by Lummy, just so the confirmation.
Seth knew about it, and I just found the post. So, Seth, breaking news.
We'll ask Joe about it.
It was a team effort.
We'll ask Joe about it. Joe, first of all, did the reports that your boyfriend that's been deported sent you inked up or sent you pictures of his butthole?
Can those go? Can you put those on the screen? I mean, you should be able to, right?
Yeah, because okay. You don't know that they're real, right?
No, yeah,
you can definitely put those on the screen. Absolutely, you can.
Feel like hopefully, I don't want us to be the only ones staring at these pictures.
Hopefully, Macho Man can put these up on the screen because we don't know they're true.
I feel very alone right now.
Well, no, it's a bunch of numbers up there, so other people are doing it.
Well, true. I don't know how many are broadcasting them, Gene, but
no, they ain't broadcasting them, but there's 3,840 people.
I think this is probably okay.
I would have never searched for this if Seth did not bring this to my attention. So thank you, Seth.
I didn't make this up
he
as a
brought
fantasy.
it to your attention and didn't tell you to hit the board.
It wasn't. This isn't a fantasy of mine, Lummy. I just consume what's on the internet.
Hopefully, Macho Man puts it up. Unless, Macho Man, you feel it's a problem. I don't feel it's a problem because we don't know it to be true. And even if it is true,
wonder why you didn't sit on a printer.
I don't think. I don't think.
$50.
I don't think it's a problem. I
do
do not think it's a problem.
And got some good shots
because you don't know it's true. And you're right. He should have sat on the Xerox, printer. Spread his ass and got a really good,
Lasker should be a consultant for this kind of thing. If you're sending a love letter to your boyfriend as you get deported.
So hopefully, Macho Man. I'm looking at the feed now. I don't know why Macho Man's not putting it up.
I wonder how he got caught up in getting caught up.
I don't think Macho's going to put it up.
Why? I mean, I don't think it's a problem. Because you can't verify it. I mean, it could be almost 2 lips with a hole in the middle. Well, I guess it's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
God, you're so nasty.
Macho, do you think this is a problem? Macho, do you think that this is a problem?
I'd like to consult with the legal department.
Are you talking to him? What do you need to know?
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Man, I've gained like 7 pounds, bro. I'm really, really pissed off. I don't know why. I guess I quit walking with my dogs and playing with my dogs so much because of my hand.
What's wrong?
I'm like 7 pounds heavier than I've ever been or been in a long time.
Well, what's the problem?
I don't know, man. I'm eating too much, or I'm starting. For a long time, I didn't eat no breakfast. I just ate lunch and dinner, and I eat dinner before 6, not any later. And but lately, I've been, letting that go because we're so busy, and I can't. 3 dogs, feeding them little boneheads, man. By that time, I get my meal because dogs come first. It's a little later, so I'm eating kind of late sometimes. Is Ritz crackers bad for you?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, they are.
I eat a lot of them. Not a lot, but like 3 of the little packages, like about the 3-inch package, every day. Almost every day. Like not every day, but.
Thank you, Mark, for driving.
What up, Scott? What up, Danny? I'm skipping True Leave. I'm going to move today. $13 edibles. Can't beat that. And this is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that.
So John Costica.
Thanks, Unsavory. I appreciate it, man. The worst part's going to be the sleepover Saturday night. What up, Costica? Oh, fuck yeah, Danny. I'll be in Chicago August 2nd or 3rd. Might check out a Sky game. What up, Jay Bowler? What up, Tease? What's up, Alan?
Morning, Tease. What's up, Jeff? You like Rise, Seth?
What's that?
You like Rise?
Rye?
Rise, R-I-S-E?
Oh, I haven't been there. Why, you heard good things?
No, this guy asked in chat.
Oh, okay.
In the Rumble chat.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck,
Oxy, $50.
Please.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
I can't stop looking at this because I just can't logistically think of how you could do that.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I just don't think that you could.
Because even if you folded the paper and stuck it up in there, it wouldn't be even.
Gene, just please be careful with the up in theirs and the things like that.
Okay.
Like here's the deal. We know how we've all been fingerprinted. Probably, I had to get fingerprinted when I got booked for the wild boar incident, and then I got fingerprinted for my gun 4 COP gun carrying license. So. But that's, they ink up your finger and they put it on a piece of paper, then they roll it, and then you're done. But I don't understand. I don't know that that any human being, regardless of how big or how small you are, can ink up your ass cheeks and efficiently get them on a piece of paper. And like Gene says, let me say it, Gene, not you, because I can probably say it legally. How you position the paper to said body part to get said.
You could probably put it on a 2x4.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably
because you only need 2 inches wide.
He probably had.
That's right.
He probably.
That's how he did it.
He had to sit on a 2x4.
That's kind of right. You just lay it the paper, roll it around, and then you set the center.
I would say, Gene, that when I asked Joe about that, that's probably going to be what happened.
Yeah.
Is that he now let me does he have a time frame as to how long he can be on? A lot of times it's only 12 minutes or 18 minutes or 5 minutes when you're doing a prison interview. They're very strict on time.
If you notice,
it should be up to 15, but I mean it all depends on what's going on.
If you notice, they're littler at the top, and then they got bigger at the bottom because he wasn't so nervous.
Oh, so here's the deal. He kind of roughed it in.
He started up there like put a headline, and they were little, and then he
got a little more brazen.
Got a little bit. I don't
know where'd this one come from. Was that just like
maybe that was his first one he tried.
It's one of the first ones because it's kind of from the top. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Did you see this, Lummy? This is phenomenal.
Yeah, he's pretty good at.
So this fan jumps out. Is this at Yankee Stadium? No, this isn't at Yankee Stadium. This looks like, is that L.A.? Where is that? Kansas City? Kansas City usually has the rock.
No, that's
got the rock wall
that's
there.
The Angels Stadium.
Yeah. Angels, okay. Because very few, not a lot of places have the rock formations. And when you think of water, you're right, Seth, you automatically think of the Royals because they have kind of a waterfall kind of gimmick, don't they? In center field.
I think they used to.
Yeah, they got I don't know if they have the fountains anymore.
Yeah. So this guy, you see it all the time where a fan makes it onto the field, and at that point the athletes are just kind of worried about does this guy got a knife? Is he trying to tackle me? Usually the athletes kind of just get out of the way, and the security personnel try to apprehend the errant guy that's running on the field. This guy here, man, he makes a couple shucks and jives and eludes most of the security, and then, Lummy, once he gets into the stands, they pummel him. Yeah, they do. Watch. That's a pretty damn good move.
That was a good move.
Now watch this. This is where.
Well, they can't be grabbing him back out.
They can.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they can.
That's baloney. I'd jump over it.
You jump over and do what?
Smash the cops out of the way.
Yeah, and you'd be right
and
with
I just said I got pushed.
You'd be right with them.
I got pushed.
Gene, you'd be so mad if a guy, like, if he ran into the middle of, like, a road on, like, a funny car race or something like that, and they had to stop and all that, and then the guy tried to run away. You'd be all about kicking his ass.
The fans are for him. Look at her all pumped up.
Gene, it doesn't matter what the fans want.
Yankees fans are pumped up 24/7.
It's what's legal.
I'd bond him out of jail.
What?
I'd bond him out of jail.
This move right here, Lummy, is the best.
Bubba, it's not like he's in training camp. This is just a poor security guard and a guy that already had momentum.
I know, but the security guard looks like such a buffoon.
Well, I mean, he's not a linebacker.
He's afraid to grab him.
Now, why does this cop not?
I think he knows he's going to get him.
Because he's a lazy cop.
Look at this.
See, those
cop.
cops are running.
Those cops are on it.
Why did he just stop and stay there laughing?
Because he didn't have an aisleway. He made a mistake and didn't jump up an aisleway. Otherwise, if he would have gone up an aisle.
If I was 22, I'd have got in front of him and blocked him a little bit. I think the dude's cool.
Seth, I agree with you. Gene, what would you do? Like,
Gene's not. Hold on. Lasker talks a good game. Lasker ain't doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. You know what Gene's doing?
Well, you don't think I would jump over that wall and run?
Gene would pour his 64-ounce beer on top of the guy's head. That's what Gene would do.
Oh, I'd do something to help the guy get away.
Oh, you would not.
I don't know if that guy thought like he crossed a border or something, but I thought as soon as he jumped back into the stands,
he standing there and started laughing.
He was like safe or
I'm
something.
safe.
Lummy so we're waiting for his phone call right at 9 or 9:05.
I told him no at 9:05, but again, the communication is kind of back and forth is difficult trying to talk to him. So
Day 12, and the prosecution's witnesses are unleashing more bombshell testimony.
Morning. Do you notice that the P. Diddy thing started out, man, we used to have to make sure we knew the latest, and there's some really, really bombshell testimony that's coming out right now, and we don't even really care about it. Like, they've almost desensitized America, right? I mean, I don't find it nearly as
I think it's we once you've heard a lot of the details, and I mean the details, stuff does pop out every day that seems to get worse. But I feel like I think 2 weeks was enough for everybody until they're ready to announce.
I think when you come
a verdict.
out, I think Seth, you're right. And when you come out with your strongest card. They came out strong with the tape and all that kind of stuff. And so all this stuff that comes out's bad, but it's not nearly as bad as, week one. So we're somewhat desensitized.
Well, once
by
we heard about the Punisher and, everything, what more? How much more can you add to the story?
Right. Once the Punisher's been up in the guts, what else is left, right?
Yeah.
Good morning. A morning greeting from Diddy's 85-year-old mom, Janice, on day 12 as the fireworks inside court got underway. The defendant's sons arrived to hear a new witness claiming to be a victim of her dad's violent history. Diddy's former assistant, who's going by the pseudonym Mia, testified about her chaotic past.
By the way, yesterday's testimony was from Diddy's assistant named Mia. That's where, I think that's the person that did the most damage yesterday.
Did she bury him?
No, I think she buried him. Yeah, I think she did.
With the music mogul.
See,
Mia claims.
Look, listen, they were so. They didn't even give Mia a face. They gave her no face.
No face. Who's going by the pseudonym Mia testified about her chaotic past with the music mogul. Mia claims that a toxic Diddy would throw things at her and once threw her against a wall and into a pool. She alleges that he slammed her against the door and sexually assaulted her more than once. Mia is the former assistant to Mike Myers and Adrian Brody's designer girlfriend, Georgina Chapman. Mia testified that when she arrived for her first interview with Diddy, he was on the phone in his underwear.
I'm not the easiest to work for.
On the stand, Mia said working for Diddy was like his former reality competition show.
I don't give a I am the best to work for. I'm not everybody else!
The wild 2008 series showed the abrasive music star handpicking a worthy assistant.
This is what it's like in the heat of battle, baby.
But the heat of the battle for Mia included her working over 24 hours on her first day on the job with no sleep.
How do you work 24 hours? I mean, I guess you get no sleep.
Yeah. She lived on Diddy's property and was never allowed to have a lock on her bedroom door. Diddy told her, quote, "It's my house and no one locks my doors in my house." She also mentioned witnessing Diddy abusing Cassie.
Mia was trembling throughout her testimony, really from the moment she got there. But when she was asked about the violence that she witnessed with Cassie, she got very...
I mean, it's just one witness after another, when they all say the same thing. They were abused, they were touched. It's just some of this has got to stick.
Emotional.
But do you think if he gets...
But she lived there and she let it happen for all this time. Come on.
Do you think that if he gets off, that he's going to go, I don't know what country it was.
Like the Chrisleys and just start like he's the new man?
No, well, like Russell Simmons ran off. He had been accused of a couple of things, and he ran off to, I don't know, like he's being a monk or something like that. Like, does Diddy leave this country, or does he still stay and still try to, continue to make music and, make a name for himself?
I think he either leaves the country or he disappears into our country. But he does not try to be anything that was a resemblance of what he did or came from or the music business.
Because at worst right now, he abuses women physically and mentally, in every way possible. I mean, it's tough to walk around the streets conducting business.
He didn't kill none of them.
Gene, it's illegal to assault a woman.
Gene's a bad boy for life. I understand the support.
Seriously, man, just realize a lot of women like it.
Innocent.
Okay,
you're not
they
innocent.
want to be manhandled.
Well, no, you remember the video we showed of him, Gene, in the towel where he was kicking?
Yeah,
right.
What if that's your wife? What if that's your daughter?
So tell me this: after that happened, where'd she go? Back home with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she was. She kind of was drugged up.
And she wanted more.
And there comes
a point where
she wanted
more.
There comes a point like, you know what? I'll call. You know what? Let me give you a better example. I'll call it Cobanitis. You think that Coban wants to deal with your nonsense all the time, or he doesn't have any other options? There was a reason that he rolled up to you yesterday at 8:30 and was deathly afraid of telling you about his graduation, because you have him conditioned to feel that way. Well, these women are the same thing. They got Cobanitis. They don't have any other option.
Having fear for your father will make you a man.
Agreed. But being a woman and being in fear of your husband,
then get with your dad and fix it. Don't go back.
Maybe they don't. Maybe you don't have a dad.
Well,
maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know any better. Maybe you don't have any options. Maybe you do like it to a certain extent. But Gene, Cassie isn't the only one we're talking about. We're talking about personal assistants. We're talking about people that were signed to his record label. They're parading woman after woman after woman after woman after woman on the witness stand to say the very same thing. He rapes. He abuses, he beats, he belittles, he traffics, he brainwashes, and it's not just one. There's 15 or 20.
Well, he's lucky he didn't get one of mine.
Well, and he might be gay too, Gene, because he really enjoyed that other men having other sex with the other man and his woman at the same time. So I know how you feel about getting behind those guys.
Lemmy, are you trying to get?
I reached out to him, said, "What's going on?"
At times,
CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister, who uncovered Diddy's hotel attack on Cassie Ventura, has been following the case since day one.
Mia goes into this whole story. Sean Combs took Cassie, threw her hard against a bed to the point where Mia said, "I thought that he was going to kill her," and there was gushing blood everywhere, and he forced Mia to get in touch with the doctor and instructed her to say, "Tell the doctor that Cassie was drunk and hit her head."
Mia also described the frightening night.
And there's so much of this, Gene. This isn't isolated instances. There's so much of this. This guy's a monster. Yeah, maybe there are some girls.
Nice.
Maybe there are some girls that like it rough, so to speak, or whatever, but
not getting dragged down the hallway by their hair,
by their weave.
I mean, are there?
She and Cassie snuck away to a party at Prince's home that she was forbidden to attend.
So they get to the party, they're having a great time, and all of a sudden Mia realizes that Sean Combs walks in. They run out of the house. She says that Sean Combs catches up with Cassie, tackles her to the ground, and then Prince's security actually intervenes.
During Cassie's friend and Skype...
Man, I would love to see that Prince security versus P. Diddy security in a battle royal. I'd love that match.
Well, that's the Prince security that's going to win that at 10 out of 10 times.
I think so, too.
Deontay Nash's last day on the stand, he testified that he once set her up with actor Michael B. Jordan. He also told the jury it was Diddy who would use Cassie's phone to shoot videos of her during the freak-offs. He would record her on her phone, Deontay said. I stand firm on that. And now, we've learned the trial's endgame. The judge announcing the case against Diddy should be wrapped up by the 4th of July.
Hold on. By the 4th of July? That's a month and 10 days.
Wow.
But first, it's Team Diddy's chance to present their case.
We don't know where the defense is going to go, but what we've seen so far with former employees of Combs is the defense is constantly trying to make the point that you benefited from working for Sean Combs. For the former employees, they're all saying that I learned so much from Combs, and yet these horrific things happened.
I think he's done. Like, I literally think that they are going to throw the book at him. Even though, there's a lot of lawyers and what have you that are saying the case is weak. That he's a woman beater, but he's not on trial for domestic violence. But I think that they've been able to show that he has human trafficked or, one of them specifically was like transportation to promote prostitution, something like that. I think they've been able to prove that. I think they've been able to prove. And just
none
remember,
of them put him away for a long time.
There's 5 federal counts, and I think that I don't know what each one of them brings. Let's say only one sticks. Let's say only one.
I think he was facing life with all the charges.
Really?
With all of them, yes.
Or maybe it was 25 years. But either way, I mean, it was going to take him till the end of his life, I believe.
Yeah. Lummy, no luck.
No.
I mean, being the transportation guy for prostitutes, I mean, how much time can I get you?
Well, I mean, we're not talking about you being
not
the driver.
Prostitute. You didn't collect the money. You didn't pay the money. You just drove them.
Must be the money.
Gene, we're not talking about the driver. We're talking about the guy who hired the driver.
Yeah, and then
we're talking about the guy who worked.
So I didn't even drive him. I just paid to have him.
We're talking about the guy that drove the hookers from New Jersey to Manhattan to be with P. Diddy, and that guy is a P. Diddy employee. So the world doesn't work the way you look at it necessarily. The world looks
probably better if it did.
Potentially,
yeah,
in some instances. Lummy, I'm buying time here. I'm waiting water. Would you go to Words?
I would go to Words because.
Bubba, the biggest problem is that if Joe Exotic stands us up, that's fine. That happens in the biz. But after what we've had to look at this morning to get ready for the interview and the audience not being able to see that and only us staring at it for the last 30, 40 minutes, that's going to be the most troubling aspect of a cancellation.
I'm going to come back with it so the audience can see it.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, it's on his Instagram.
So I'm going to show when I come back, whether we have Joe Exotic on the air or he's standing us up from prison, I'm going to show you the butthole art that his boyfriend left him to remember him by as his boyfriend got deported back to Mexico. And Gene Lasker, although irritating, mean, shot out of a cannon, did nail it. We were trying to physically try to think about how you would able to replicate that art. And Gene nailed it, and that is he put a piece of paper on a 2x4 and then sat on a 2x4. That's the only way you can get that art. We'll do that next.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
must get so high. They're just way out there to do all that.
I don't know what you got to be on to do that shit.
You ever been really high, Seth?
He didn't know you very well, Seth.
Just weed.
Just weed. Weed ain't shit.
Yeah, no, nothing else.
Let me tell you something. Getting high to where you don't know where you're at and you don't know why you're there for 24 hours before you start coming down.
What was that, the stuff you smoked
Heroin.
in the studio? Oh, heroin. You did heroin?
I've done heroin.
24 hours it lasts?
I was high for 24 hours. I about killed the dude that gave it to me because I didn't really want to be high for 24 hours. I just wanted to try it.
Was it good? Did you like it?
No.
There was no, like, seeing pretty colors and stuff?
No, that's acid.
Oh, that's acid?
It made you like, I don't know. Like,
were you inspired?
Paranoid. Didn't know where you was. Didn't know why you were there. Wondered why are you even alive? You know, stuff like that. Like inhuman shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if heroin's as big as it seems.
I imagine if you start doing it all the time, and it just, you know, that's why you see all them homeless people doing it, because they don't want to be homeless and they don't want to be where they're at. So to leave that part of their life, they got to get high.
Yeah, no, I get that, man.
And then after you get hooked on it, well, of course, then it's a whole nother high. I've never hooked on nothing. I've tried everything, I think, pretty much. So when you date dancers,
they make you.
Yeah, you got to get high, you know, from time to time.
They have the
they're
drugs.
always high, you know what I'm saying?
Are they the ones with the drugs?
They love the drugs.
They love the drugs.
Well, to be a dancer, be a whore, I mean, you got to get high so you don't realize that you're really a pig.
You're really a pig? Oh, Jesus.
Gene has such a way about himself, does he not?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool. Oh, man. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Exotic Joe.
Let me, fucking Joe Exotic. Huh?
Let me not in the room.
Oh.
You're cursing Joe Exotics, though.
I am. I'm like, what the fuck?
Fucking ridiculous. I even confirmed with them last night.
The guy's in jail. What else does he have going on?
No shit. I even asked Macho for hotline is.
Well, he's probably his stolen phone. He's trying to find it.
Someone stole his pocket.
He's not allowed to just get on a phone, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Oh, wow.
You used to have to pay for an interview to book him, but now I think he's free.
Well, he was free before. Like he just wanted you to donate to his cause.
Oh, yeah.
So is he out of it? Did he sell out, or did they took his stuff? What happened to everything he had?
Oh, he's got nothing. They
took it all. I mean,
I'm not really sure he ever had a whole lot.
Well, property, business, building,
equipment. Yeah, they seized all that.
He sold all
His
that.
handler said right now that he doesn't know why he hasn't called either because the prison phone lines are long or hopefully the prison didn't go into lockdown. But his handler's waiting for him also to call.
His what?
Handler. It's either the phone lines are long or that the prison went into a lockdown.
They did that shit on purpose.
I pull more hose than Long Dong Silver.
Oh.
That's a Kid Rock lyric.
So how's Diddy's attitude right now going through this? Does he think he's going to beat it?
Yeah, because they offered him a chance to a plea deal and he rejected it.
He rejected it. What an idiot.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
These are the days that make Lummy go absolutely insane.
That's right.
Probably nervous.
Well, he has no way to fix it.
No, but Lummy is, feels responsible.
Well, of course he does, because you make him.
No,
it's no Gene.
Jesus Christ, Gene. You are like, have you been having lunch with Brian Matroni and how to be a counter-programming asshole? Have I said...
You haven't said anything, but you keep asking him, why ain't he on the phone?
Gene, I'm scheduled to have an interview at 9:05. For me to ask my executive producer, any luck yet? Any luck yet? Any luck yet? Have I raised my voice?
No.
Have I been mean about it? Have I been disrespectful about it?
No one said that.
No, but you insinuate that.
And I'm insinuating the pressure's on poor Lummy.
You're like
some idiot to call in.
He does that because you're doing it to him. No, I'm not.
I don't go next door and call in for him.
I haven't said one curse word.
Nobody's saying you did.
I've not raised my voice.
Nope,
I've not put any pressure on him. That's what you insinuated.
He does it himself, his own pressure.
Oh, don't stop trying to get yourself out of trouble.
No, I'm just saying, but that's what Lummy is.
Your exact words were, he does that because you do it to him. That's what
you're asking him questions.
It's my show. It's my show. I'm trying to schedule the show, Gene, and move the working pieces around. Commercials, topics. I got a bunch of topics I can get to if we're not having Joe Exotica. I have topics that are Joe Exotica related if we're going to have him. And it's not unusual for the host of the program to communicate with his executive producer who booked an interview that's having a hard time getting this person on the line. Any luck? Anything going on? Then see, Gene, then you get the chat going. Poor Lummy. Poor
I don't get to
Lummy.
see no chat. I mean,
poor
someday
Lummy.
I need to get to that.
Poor Lummy.
I've been poor about Lummy.
Bubba's such a dick. Even Gene says so. Even Gene
don't give him
says
ammunition
so.
that I'm not.
No, you give them ammunition.
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Jesus
I meant
Christ almighty.
Lummy is trying to get the guy on the phone, and every time you ask him,
Bubba, wasn't about you at all. He already said because of Joe Exotic standing us up that I was trying to get him a hold of him. He said,
I'm like, my mindset with regards is I feel for Lummy. I would be a nervous wreck right now if I was the executive producer and my host was sitting here wading water, had questions ready, had screenshots ready,
looking forward to it,
different things ready, and I then. Gene, well, you do it to him. that was your exact words. Well, you do it to him. What am I doing to him?
His handler said that the handler is now concerned, and hopefully it's just a long prison line.
What's the handler's concerned? That lights out, man.
Because he said he was very aware to call at 9 o'clock. He usually sits in line waiting to get the phone. So he said, hopefully you guys can be patient, and he is concerned.
So here is the picture that we have confirmed is on Joe Exotica's Instagram, and we don't know necessarily that it is what it's being described as, but it kind of looks like it might be. And I don't think, just like I cannot show an exposed nipple on a real person. This is a piece of paper with potentially an inked butthole. But we aren't seeing the real live butthole. We're not seeing anything attached to a human person. So we don't know that this is what it potentially has been portrayed as to being. But it could be. It could be. It could very well be. And so this is what Joe Exotic's boyfriend that got deported back to Mexico left him. Joe Exotic, guys, I forgot to show you what Would it be Jorge or George?
Jorge. His boyfriend, probably Jorge.
Jorge left me to remember him.
So if we find out that it's true and that is, do we have to dump it then?
No. No, because it's just it's just verbal at that point.
Right.
It would only be a problem if you would actually see
him doing it,
and you could and
a live feed.
Yeah. So there you go. So you guys have been wondering what we've been looking at this entire time, and Gene did hit it on the head. It was if this is it, the only way you could replicate this logistically would to ink up your area, let's call it that, and to sit on a 2x4. Now, who on earth would want that? I don't know.
And you had to ink the area very, very perfectly right.
Right.
To only get that area to not, get some side smashing or something.
I would tell you that this is probably the best one.
Oh, geez, man.
It's the biggest one.
Oh, I mean, it's the most, as far as.
Do you think he inked himself?
I don't know. So we're done. We're done with that. I've showed it. This report says that the wild drama surrounding Tiger King star Joe Exotic took another twist with his husband, Jorge Flores Maldonado, speaking out in Mexico after a rapid and surprise deportation. Jorge, who was deported from the U.S. Now, I think they are married. Yes. They got married in prison, right?
Yeah.
Jorge, who was deported from the U.S. on May 19th, is now revealing the dangerous reality in which he lives in. Was it
Tamaulipas?
Yeah,
that's a very
Tamaulipas.
That's a border country.
A state famous for rampant organized crime.
Yep.
There is a high incidence of organized crime here, and there is no security, Jorge said in an interview with the New York Post. I'm a very well-known individual at the present time, and I risk being kidnapped. Jorge highlighted the risks he now encounters as a public figure. Seems like this guy's putting himself right on over. Like he's taking himself a little too seriously. As a public figure linked to Joe Exotic, whose actual name is Joseph Maldonado Passage. So seems like Joe Exotic took his husband's last name to be his middle hyphenated name. The cartels are very active here. I cannot even go out on the street. I think they think that I have money because of my husband. Well, it's my understanding that Joe Exotic is broke.
Oh yeah, he's been in prison before Netflix.
I think he's been in. Has he not been in? Was he in prison when Tiger King was? And listen, Tiger King wasn't necessarily the best produced documentary of all time. It just happened to be, it hit when we were all, for that 1 month period where all of America was home. That's when Tiger King came out. So even if that wasn't necessarily your jam, you had to watch it because it was one of the newer things out. So Jorge was reportedly individually arrested on May 16th, which is what? 14 days ago?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
By U.S. Immigrations and Customs, better known as ICE. He was soon given a hearing to ascertain whether he was to be allowed to stay in the U.S. or not. The ruling was made hastily, though, and hours later he was sent back to Mexico, confirmed by TMZ. Joe Exotic, who is serving 21 years in prison, he's had to have served 5, right?
He went in 2019.
So he never really got to live the rub of his fame.
Yeah, he went in right before it came out.
Serving a 21-year I think that he got railroaded. I think this guy got railroaded. They needed a bad guy, and he was the lesser of two evils with Carol Bascom and him. I think she was far more organized and shady than he was, and she just knew how to play the digital Facebook game better than he did, and she,
I mean, didn't he put the hit out on her?
He says he didn't put the hit on her.
Yeah.
He said he joked about it.
Joe Exotic, who's serving 21 years in prison for crimes that include murder for hire. Like, do they have him actually, like, now, I don't have any sympathy for him, and he belongs where he needs to be if indeed he met with, like, an FBI undercover agent, and Joe was like, listen, I'll give you, like, $5,000 to kill this bitch. And they got that, right? But if he was like on his little show, because remember he had a little show, Lummy, he like a little online show, and he'd have like a picture of her, and he would like, you know, chainsaw the head off a picture of her, or you know, he would throw darts at her or shoot a gun at a cardboard cutout. You know, he would do funny things. But if they and I don't, if that's what they got him on, I think that's kind of bullcrap. But if they got him on where he actually met, you know, what he thought was a hitman, which, listen, can I tell you something? And Gene will tell you, because he lives in the darker side of our world. Let's just be honest. Gene lives on the darker side of our world. And Gene, I think that you will attest that any time that a regular human being, I'm not talking about you bikers and how you guys talk to each other or anything like that, but when a regular person is talking to what they think is a hitman, 95% of the times you're talking to an undercover cop.
Yep.
You're not talking to a real hitman.
No.
You're talking to a cop. Now, there are people in various circles that you could find somebody like that. But
it's the only way that really happens is if you know somebody and you talk to him, and that guy that you know somebody talks to the hitman. He's not asking, you're not the person asking the hitman, but there could be some people you know that guy that can get you that guy.
Listen, there are two people I would call. I'm not even going to mention their names, but one of them's in this room. There's two. If I had to put a hit out on somebody, there's only two people I would call. And one of them's in this room.
Seth?
No. Yeah, Seth. Seth.
You don't think I could kill somebody?
Yeah, I can see that.
I think you could.
I don't even need any real
No,
weapons.
you couldn't.
You just use your bare hands?
I could, Gene.
Yeah.
Did you kill a cat?
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just saying, a cat, could you kill it?
You mean like by running it over? Or?
Well, just by shooting it in the yard because it happens to be in your yard and it's not yours.
I'll do what I need to do to prove myself to you.
Asking you that. You can't kill a cat.
Anyway,
much less a human.
Anyway, spoke out on Instagram about his pain in an Instagram post dated May 19th, which was, 11 days ago. He confirmed Jorge's deportation and said that the two remained in communication despite everything. The Tiger King star also made a plea to the former president, Donald Trump, in a third post.
Save my boyfriend?
Well, hold on. Here's the deal. This is not very well written because the former president is now the current president, right?
Yes.
President Trump, I want to get out of here so I can be with my husband, Joe wrote, referring to Trump's wide-ranging immigration decrees since taking office in January. The divisive policies have ramped up deportations nationwide, affecting thousands of families, Jorge and Joe among them. The new development brings another chapter to the constantly changing Tiger King saga, one of which is one that has fascinated viewers since the Netflix docuseries premiered in 2020. As Joe Exotic sits in prison, his struggle, both inner and courtroom related, continue to make news and fuel controversy. And now his husband's dire circumstances in Mexico only heighten demands for action and intervention.
Oh, why don't you move?
What do you mean?
He can go anywhere in Mexico. You don't have to be in that town.
True. Move to a safer part of Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, move to like Cancun. Right? I mean, like one of these tourist towns where I've been told that there are I would
become a bag boy real quick.
I would never go.
Get your job.
I would never go to Mexico, but I've been told there are Lummy, you know, because you did some traveling into Mexico.
Well, they tell you don't leave the resort
for your fishing deal. But
we had an apartment there.
But there are safe parts of Mexico.
Really, you walked around Mexico? Just walked around?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, back in the day.
Do they really do the donkey dancing?
Yes.
Wow.
There are donkey bars.
Yes, there are.
That's unbelievable. I thought that was phony.
It's not donkey dancing, Gene.
You know what I mean. I can't say what it is.
Just call it a donkey bar.
They call it a donkey bar.
You just say, are there really donkey bars?
So are there?
Yeah.
There are.
And so that touristly intake, or do regular people?
It's all
Mexicans
tourists.
Watch too.
No, it's all tourists.
Yeah.
And the Mexicans that are in there are just the guys that are bouncers that are working there.
Yeah.
But
they cost a lot of money to go in there.
I would be so disturbed.
Nothing does in Mexico.
Nothing costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would be so disturbed by a donkey bar.
You're a liar. Why would you be disturbed?
I'm probably into some crazy stuff.
Right.
But watching a woman being intercoursed by a donkey is not one that is at the top of my list.
Well, it's not at the top of my list either, but I'd watch it.
Just to say you said it? I mean...
just to see it, yeah.
You think your wife would let you go into a donkey bar?
Oh, well, I wouldn't be telling her I went in there.
Exactly. Exactly. You're like, hey, Sarah, what? Sorry, I missed Coben's graduation. I was at a donkey bar in Cancun.
You're telling me the truth that you just
Francis Thomas Lasker.
She'd throw a junior in there too, and I'd be out the door.
Oh,
hey, you telling me that you wouldn't want to see it happen if it's the truth?
I don't know, man. What
You ever see a girl smoke a cigar from there?
Yeah, I've seen a girl smoke a cigar from her vagina.
Is that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I haven't seen that. Where do you see that?
Puffs, and then the ashes fall down right on her thighs and stuff.
I've seen that. And you know what, Gene? To be honest with you, Eugene Lasker, that is a far cry from a donkey bar.
Well, it's not much different. It's a little different, but
bull crap. A girl smoking a cigar from her vagina is miles away from her having sex with a donkey.
Well, that's the road we're on.
A massive flashing red warning here. What I'm about to say is quite disturbing. There's a lot of uncomfortable language. And if you are triggered or upset by sex assaults and violent assaults, etc., then this is definitely not the show for you tonight. The accuser is named Ashley Parham, and she has agreed to allow her name to be made public. Let's be real clear about that. She is going public with her name. She says that in February of 2018, she met a man named Shane Pierce at a bar, and that Shane FaceTimed Diddy outside on the sidewalk, apparently trying to impress her. But Ashley Parham says that she told both Shane and Diddy on FaceTime that she wasn't impressed. And this is important. She says she believed that Diddy had something to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur and said as much. Allegedly, Diddy warned her that she would pay for saying something like that. So let's just fast forward now to a month later, where she says this guy Shane invited her to come to his apartment. And the lawsuit says, quote, plaintiff and defendant Shane then began to watch a movie, and defendant Shane offered her a glass of water, which he retrieved and brought back to the plaintiff.
You ever notice, man, that's where it all starts going south.
You want a drink?
Yes, exactly. When these girls start drinking something that's unsealed, whether it be, a soda or a mixed drink or a glass of water, if you're going to drink water from somebody that you don't 100% trust, make sure it's bottled water that the seal hasn't been broken, because that's where it all starts to go south.
Well, she must have trusted him because she asked, and he asked her, and she came.
few minutes later, Ashley Parham says that P. Diddy showed up with an entourage, including his top aide, Christina Coram, an unnamed woman who is not a defendant in the suit, and 3 unnamed men, one of whom she says was Diddy's driver, and Parham says that driver waited outside throughout the whole of what I'm about to tell you. Parham says that Diddy was antagonistic from the start and that he put a knife to her face. And now this is where I start reading directly from the complaint.
And again, every day there's more of this. Every day.
Defendant Shane then partially undressed plaintiff, and then defendant Diddy removed the remainder of plaintiff's clothing, removing the knife from her face, and then retrieved a bottle of liquid from a large fanny pack. Defendant Diddy then squirted a bottle of liquid on plaintiff, which placed her in fear that she was being squirted with a chemical substance like acid. Plaintiff soon realized the substance was an oil/lubricant. Plaintiff was squirted with this liquid substance all over the entirety of her naked body. Defendant KK was then told by defendant Diddy to insert what looked like a syringe from sterile packaging into plaintiff's vagina.
Kelly Brown,
defendant KK did as told.
Who, what?
Kelly Brown, $70.
70?
Yeah, Canadian.
Insert a syringe.
I don't understand.
And then told defendant Diddy that she was unable to use the IUD because it had prematurely been released from its packaging. And an IUD is a birth control device. Defendant Diddy, upset by this, took the so-called syringe from defendant KK and tried inserting it into plaintiff's vagina instead.
Now, can you imagine, man? You go, this is not what you signed up for.
Defendant KK and Diddy began to argue as defendant KK continued to advise defendant Diddy that since the IUD had been prematurely released from its packaging, there was no way they could insert it into plaintiff's vagina effectively. After some time, defendant Diddy heeded the advice of defendant KK and removed the syringe from plaintiff's vagina and handed it to defendant KK. Defendants KK and Jane Doe then exited defendant Shane's residence, leaving the plaintiff alone with defendants Diddy, Shane, and Doe's number 1 and 2.
Here's where it gets crazy. They dildoed her with the television remote.
Oh.
Why?
Because they're sick.
Is this getting into the rape part?
Yes, this is where they actually squirting, baby oil on her. That's not rapey. I guess trying to insert a IUD that didn't work.
That's disturbing, man.
That's rapey and bad to the point where P. Diddy gets involved and tries. So then this is where it gets bad. Again, I think this guy spends the rest of his life behind bars.
Defendant Diddy then picked up a television remote that was near to plaintiff and violently inserted it into plaintiff's vagina.
Now,
wonder which side the buttons were on.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, does it really matter at that point?
If they're on the top, they're going to work quicker.
Defendant Diddy, while violently raping plaintiff with a television remote, told plaintiff that her life was in his hands and that if he wanted, he could, quote, take her, and she would never be seen again. Plaintiff began hysterically crying from the threats by Diddy, along with the pain of being violently, vaginally raped by defendant Diddy with the television remote, as well as the lingering pain from the ordeal with the IUD syringe insertion. Defendant Diddy then instructed defendant Shane to turn plaintiff on her stomach, seemingly tired of hearing plaintiff's blood-curdling cries. Defendant Shane then grabbed plaintiff by her abdomen and hips and turned plaintiff on her stomach. Defendant Diddy then instructed defendant Shane to put a pillow over her head because he didn't want to see her face or hear her cries, and instructed defendant Shane to anally rape plaintiff.
This ain't good for Diddy, man.
Man, he needs to go to hell.
This guy, I'm just telling you, and every day there's something. Maybe not this egregious, but every day there's something of this type.
Defendant Shane did as he was told by defendant Diddy and began to anally rape plaintiff. Defendant Diddy then violently raped plaintiff anally after defendant Shane. Defendant Doe number 2 then joined defendants Diddy and Shane, taking a turn anally raping plaintiff.
Now hold
Immediately,
on. And this is her testimony. This isn't like, this is her testimony.
After defendant number 2 raped plaintiff,
so she got raped 3 times. She first got they took an IUD and was super rough and couldn't get it to work properly. That's vagina violation number 1. Then TV remoted her vaginally, raped her with a TV remote. That's rape number 2. And then anally raped her. And it sounds like 3 dudes all took turns on her.
Exited defendant Shane's residence.
This is what you saved your lunch money for. To the green at Kokomo.
Say it. Kokomo.
Hold on. There you go, G. Look at that.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Get up on that fence.
So, like,
that's how you transition from a hotel.
Yeah,
hotel
right to
remote
USAC.
story.
Right to USAC.
That'll get me right away
Yeah.
from Diddy.
Mistrial denied by judge. So
why?
Well,
I mean, why is there a mistrial?
Because P. Diddy is desperate.
Oh, he's trying to figure
He's trying everything.
He's probably got the best lawyers ever, right?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Okay.
Absolutely. Gene, he offered the court $50 million just to be on bond. He offered both of his homes and $50 million in cash and relinquished his passport, was going to have an ankle monitor on, could not have cell phone, could not get out, move outside of his residence, had to stay, and they said no to that. That's how much they
know he'd run.
Yeah. Back with that next. Hold on.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
You know, Joe will call Monday. We'll get some good legal advice from Jay. And, you know, it'll all work out.
Yeah. Are you going to cut a promo on him, Gene? On Lemmy?
It's
holding out till 10 o'clock.
You know what's funny, Bubba? It's the one day he decided to make it the clickbait.
I know.
Yeah.
That was the kiss of death.
I just can't believe you call from jail. You know, I just don't get it. How you can do that?
2025.
You're allowed. But it's called a radio station. You know what I'm saying? And
What do you mean? Nobody used to get jailhouse calls.
I guess so, yeah.
Remember that one dickhead that put the bleach in the mouth?
Yeah. They have to pay for him, though, right? I mean, they got to pay for it. We're not paying for it. Don't they have to pay to make the call?
they got to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Davison.
Yeah, Rattlesnake. Yeah, he
might be dead. They may have.
poisoned the mom and dad or something.
Yeah, shot bleach into his girlfriend's mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that was back in the day. We were winning races.
They hung you out, Lummy.
Hung it out.
Yeah, they did.
Just let me get beat down. Joe Exotic just...
Yeah, but somebody, you know, if they had a couple of guys fighting in there, then they do the lockdown thing.
Yeah.
All the phones are shut off.
But he's in the hospital part.
Well, I think they would lock that down even quicker because you could probably escape from the hospital part quicker than you could escape from a regular part.
Yeah.
death light. Recovery sentence.
Lummy, is it the Saharan dust? It looks like there's going to be a fucking hurricane outside.
It's the dust.
Don't say that. It's looking. See, look. We got all that cloud coverage. Oh.
See?
It's going to rain. Is that today? No, Saturday.
I don't mind. It can rain Saturday all at once, bro. It can't rain today.
It just looks dark out, but I don't know if it's going to rain or not.
Take a picture.
It's the dust.
Yeah, I'm uploading it to my MySpace.
I don't want no rain today.
Bubba Windy officially comes back tomorrow, so that's a Monday.
Tomorrow's fine.
Yeah.
Where's Joe Exotic? See, look, the people are going fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. If it rains tomorrow, man, I can open up my doors, let the dogs run in and out, playing in the water, and I can sleep.
I think outside of the weather being severe, I think that you could. But, I mean, I'm not afraid of severe weather. I mean, because I know you're not. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. I don't know what day late and a dollar short means. You're going to have to explain it to me.
A day late, dollar short. That just means you don't go when it takes to take care of the deal.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Ryan Phelps, 100 Lummy on the PayPal.
Good man.
Biggest donation of the day.
Next mark for Tarpon.
Thank you.
I think that's Ashley's ex-boyfriend from school.
Who?
Ryan Phelps.
Ryan Phelps is your wife's ex-boyfriend from school?
Yeah, they dated. They were whatever.
What? Send the money back. We don't
Send
want
it
that
back.
dirty money.
And he only gave us 100?
They're friends. I don't know. It's elementary school.
And they're still friends?
I don't know. No, they're not friends.
They're friends. And Lummy just painted himself into a corner.
I'm mad at Joe Exotic right now, and I want to say negative things, but
You
I'm
can't
not going
fix
to.
that. He's a weirdo.
It's over.
I told you.
I mean, we got like 4 more minutes left of the show. We're done.
Can't trust a gay guy. Just can't trust them. Sorry. They won't steal anything out of your yard if you're their neighbor.
What?
They won't steal nothing from you if you're a neighbor.
No, they're gonna have a nice yard.
Yeah, but you can't trust them.
Can't trust them to call.
Their word's not good because you know what they do with their mouth.
Jeez.
We're getting to the nitty gritty of this today, Sponjo. Are you mad?
No, I'm just.
He's mad. He's gonna kill me before I get to the door. I'm not even got to worry about the rain. I got to worry about me.
I'm just like.
He's stupid. Just say it.
Are you mad at Joe Exotic?
No, I'm disappointed that he stood us up. You're
Right, because it'd have been great.
You're right, because we had great questions and we clickbaited it. So now we look stupid on the clickbait. And
Bubba
then
was all ready for
And
it.
then Gene just goes on and on with stupid statement after stupid statement. I've corrected him so many times that quite frankly, I've given up.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to distance yourself from this whole episode today, Bubba.
Yeah, well, hit from him. from him.
The views and opinions made by Gene Lasker are not necessarily those of our advertisers or this radio station. Now, let me tell you something. If you do not like Gene's opinions, you're probably just stupid.
Keith Yeager, $100.
There it is. Match him. Let's give a couple more matches like that. It'd be great.
XXL Gaming, $10. Shrimp on a treadmill.
You all right, Sponge?
You got 5 minutes left in you, or you?
No, I think we should just maybe wrap it up a little bit early today.
Oh, okay.
What happens if he calls then?
Wow,
it'll be a 1 minute. One minute.
We won't have enough time to bash him.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten me so off my game.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
You just say that.
Okay, let me just.
How do you get Bubba the Love Sponge off his game? What? You drowned him? What? You can't get off no game.
Mike Thurman, $50.
You just constantly put me in a trick bag of some of
some of your
It's
own
like
actions.
Bubba doesn't know whether to laugh, to move on, or to scold you. And I think there's a lot of things as a host when you.
It was a lot better back in the day, Seth, when he could just shoot me. He'd get up, pop, wax me up. I've got, get welts on there, and then he was happy.
Check your cell phone.
Oh, no, it's a text.
Hold on. Check your cell phone, and then don't say a word. Don't say a word. Check your phone, and don't say we're going to end the show. Just check your phone. In fact, I'm going to end the show and not even give you an option. Turn your mic off. Turn your mic off. So, Lovey, I'm headed to Ocala. We have a race tomorrow night.
Good luck.
Late models, 1,200 to win. Looks like we might get rained out. Look like I think we might get rained out. But I'll know more. I'll know more as I get on that track today. Seth, any parting words?
God bless America. God bless Joe Exotic, and happy birthday to my daughter.
Yes, happy birthday to your daughter. I have a gift for her.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you going to sell it to me?
No.
Oh, it's a physical.
It's for her. Great. Lummy, anything going on?
Love you, Ashley. Love you, Bubba.
Love you for Ashley's ex-boyfriend. You sound like a great guy.
Lasker, I'll let you say I love you, Sarah. That's the only
Love you, Sarah.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian, Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
You're wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council. Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I repent.